Hello, everybody, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and all the others. How is everybody doing? I hope we are having a fantastic, great day today. Excuse me for the little small delay that we have experienced today, but for the rest of the show, everything should be going as planned. David,
We don't have a plan here. You literally just said you have nothing. All right. Okay, we're professionals. We're professionals. See, that's what you got to take away from Tate the other day. He was spouting complete nonsense, but he just kept saying, as a professional, I'll have to say, as a professional, well, you know, if I approach this as a professional. So, there. That's all you got to do. You got to sound like a professional.
And then Piers Morgan asked, "What professional? What are you talking about?" And he said, "The professional."
The professional. Which part of professional didn't you understand? Do I need to someone look up professional and see if it's an actual word in the dictionary?
If it's not,
put it in there. Top G.
Top G orders it. Yeah, David, what's up?
Yo, what's up? You seen some changes in Europe, man?
I see changes. I see changes.
Stuff's moving along faster than I thought.
So changes are indeed happening. Some of those changes are, for example, that there were elections in the Netherlands, which happens to be a very important part of Europe.
Die Niederlande.
And or Netherlands, or however they say it. And there we had the election results that shocked everybody. Those election results show that the Party for Freedom, led by Geert Wilders, who's actually pronounced Geert Wilders in Dutch.
I think the W for them is a V, like in German, isn't it? Wilders.
Okay. Geert Wilders, maybe, yeah, okay, makes sense. Don't try this at home. But his party came out on top, has 37 seats, which is the majority, which is the highest number of seats in the parliament.
He's the actual top G. He's Geert.
Yes, he's
real top G.
But he's top.
He's top.
He's top. And top Geert.
Every time I think about it, I just remember that one interview. It was the funniest thing. I was dying laughing, and I was laughing for days just when I would think back to it. When that guy said, when Geert Wilders said, I told you about it the other day, but he goes, European culture is superior to retarded Islamic culture. And there's this pause, and the guy goes, excuse me, did you just call Islamic culture retarded? Yes, because if you look, and then he goes through the evidence.
Yeah.
What a nut, man.
That's crazy. And you can see here the history of it. The PVV which is the party we're talking about. It's called Partij voor de Vrijheid, which means freedom part. The party for freedom. And that party,
I will start the Vrijheid and Gerechtigkeit party.
that party now got the highest number of seats here in Parliament in 2023 elections, 37 seats compared to all the others. And the funny thing about this is that this party was around, like, look at this, in 2021, they got 10% of the vote. Now they have 23% of the vote, and thereby surpassed everyone else. In the past, people were mocking this party and were saying, "Oh, it's just hateful. They're just Islamophobic, bigots. They will never get anywhere." And now suddenly, surprisingly, shockingly, they are the number one. What do you think about this development, David? Before I go further into what exactly that means.
Well, I mean, we've been predicting this for a long time, and I've been saying for many years that at the end of the day, Western nations are democracies in one form or another. No, the United States is a constitutional republic. Yeah, you're voting for your leaders, and that's a form of democracy. It's not a pure democracy. It's a form of democracy. But if you tick off enough people, if enough people get fed up and you're a leader and you're not doing what they want, they can replace you and get leaders who will do what they want. Same thing with any of the the media and so on. Even if they're private companies, if you tick off enough people and no one watches your stuff anymore, then they can watch someone who will not be treating them like garbage. And so things can change very quickly. You just need to reach a certain threshold of ticking people off, and they can change the political spectrum very quickly. And I don't know. The other thing that happens, and it's similar. It's similar for. It can be whether for good or bad. There's this something that happens where someone does something and it sets an example for other people, and then other people do likewise. So you've seen that with like terrorist attacks and so on. Someone will decide, hey, I'm going to drive a truck into this crowd of people, and then like for the next year, everyone's driving trucks into crowds of people because they're like, oh, that really worked out. But it's a situation where things can fall like dominoes. People in other countries can look and say, wow, look what these guys just did. They finally stood up to it. What are we doing? We're not going to let them just stand up to it. So we're going to stand up to it too. And it can just happen in a bunch of countries in succession. Whether this is actually going to continue and not fizzle out, I do not know. But is interesting that so many things are happening in such quick succession.
Yeah. Here we can see him be happy about this.
Yeah, people were saying it looked like he didn't think this was a surprise to him.
I know. It was a shock to him as well. Like they didn't expect to go this high. People suddenly had a change of heart after things. Some people say that this is because this is a result of after October 7, the whole pro-Palestine protests and the way it manifested itself in Western nations suddenly rapidly changed people's minds.
Yep.
And also what happened in the Netherlands is during this whole election period, lots of the parties that previously did not care much about restricting immigration switched to including restrictions on immigrations into their election campaigns, because that people became increasingly fed up. So the regular conservatives also started going anti-immigration to a certain extent, although, as many people know, in Europe, often conservative parties are not very anti-immigration. But I guess what happened, I read an analyst report, which is like one thing that might have contributed to Geert Wilders' victory is that those other parties also adopted anti-immigrant stances to appeal to the increasing demand, and people might have just thought, why then vote for them when we can just go to the ones who have been advocating it for it seriously for the longest time, and that is Geert Wilders' party. They were the anti-immigration, anti-Islamization party for a very long time, and suddenly they came out on top. I quickly want to point out one important thing here. There was a headline on CNN which said something as stupid as the Netherlands Trump moment, populism, and so on. This is not really a Trump moment. because in the Netherlands the system is quite different. It is an actual very diverse parliamentary system. Being the number one party here does not mean the very same thing that it would mean in America. So here, Geert Wilders' party has 76 seats and has the highest number, but they have to have, I believe, around 150 seats in order to form a government. And if the other parties don't want to work with them,
no, 76 is what you need for the majority. They won like what, 37? I think they won 37, and so they've almost got half of what they need.
Yeah. I went for the very wrong number here, but yeah, they have to form a majority.
Caught lying.
They have to go for that majority in order to form a government, and Geert Wilders' party alone will not be capable of forming that government, so they have to do a coalition with a different party, and most of the other parties refuse to collaborate with Geert Wilders' party, which is why things could change, and their party, despite having the highest number of seats, could end up being again in opposition, while others become a coalition of majority. So
yeah, I was scrolling through some of those other parties and whether they're right or left or center and so on, and I'm not sure they could get a majority coalition against him. I mean, in theory you can. That's all you need to do. So even if you have the biggest party, if all the other parties unite against you, they still have the majority government. But I was looking at them. Several of those other parties with high numbers of representatives were like center to center right category. So in other words, it would be hard for them to side with someone on the left. So I don't know how you'd get it.
Yeah. Here, The Guardian put together a graph here to show potential alliances, potential coalitions to form a government. So here is the threshold that must be reached in order to be able to form a government, and they then put different parties here together. The VVD, which is the traditional conservative party, the NSC, which is a relatively new, I think, right-leaning party. I'm not entirely sure. I don't exactly.
I believe so.
And yeah, it's a Christian Democratic Party. And then there's this left Green Party and so on. So they would have to form a coalition.
That's what I mean. How are they going to fit in with those other two groups?
I know it's like very hard, and it might be a very painful process over the next weeks or months, where they might be unable to actually form a government. This happened in Germany in the last elections. They couldn't agree on what kind of coalition they would do. The parties couldn't agree with each other, so they had to make a bunch of compromises in order to then come together and form a government. So that might be the case here as well. We will just have to wait and see. And those negotiations are actually what's kind of exciting about this multi-party system in Europe, where these parties actually have to end up making lots of compromises, agreeing, okay, how about we let go of this? How about we stick to this policy? Okay, we will not do this one, but we will agree with you on that one. And in the end, they eventually manage to form a government. If that happens, there could still be a government led by the PVV. The fact that they have the highest number of votes is like puts them in a very advantageous position. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how. If that happens, and if they have a lot of say here, then let's look at a video and see what kind of stuff Geert Wilders in the past advocated for. Let's look at that, shall we?
European culture is superior.
So this is an older speech by him given to the parliament, but let's have this one.
Zijn dus niet een paar rotte appels die het voor de rest van de moslims verpesten. Hou op met het verkondigen van dat onzinsprookje, zeg ik tegen de premier. Dit is een grote meerderheid van 700.000 moslims die onze vrije samenleving verwerpt.
700 Muslims out of 900,000 who reject our free society.
Vrije samenleving.
Yeah, he's pointing out that after every terrorist attack or riot or whatever, it's just a tiny minority. Same thing we've been dealing with for years, until you actually start looking at statistics, and lots of things turn out to not be tiny minorities.
Yeah, that's very Islamophobic of you to say.
Yes, it is racist of you.
En u, meneer de minister-president.
You, Prime Minister, have an imported a monster called Islam into our country.
Een monster geïmporteerd naar ons land, dat ons land een groot gevaar heeft gebracht. Daarom een aantal voorstellen voor de 100.000ste keer, mevrouw de voorzitter, aan het kabinet. 1. Erken dat de islam een geweldige ideologie is die en terreur met zich meebrengt. En dus
So number 1 suggestion is recognize that Islam is a violent ideology that comes with hate and terror and has no place in the Netherlands. Harsh.
niet bij Nederland hoort.
Number 2.
2. Sluit onze grenzen onmiddellijk voor asielzoekers en immigranten uit islamitische landen.
Wow. No asylum or immigrants from Muslim countries. I would put a question mark after and say, what about Christians? Or Yazidis.
This is the thing. He specifically says close our borders to asylum seekers from Islamic countries and immigrants from Islamic countries. So not all the others. Like over the after the whole Ukraine-Russia war, after the invasion by Russia into Ukraine, there was a whole discussion on. So why are all those people who were against refugees now suddenly okay with Ukrainians coming into into their countries? And here, Geert Wilders also makes the suggestion: asylum seekers and immigrants from Islamic countries. He specifically says that. He specifies that.
And there's just a huge difference between taking in Ukrainian asylum seekers or refugees, because okay, once that war's over, they're going to be happy to go home, as opposed to asylum seekers from Muslim countries who are not going to want to go back home because most of their countries are Sharia compliant hellholes.
Yeah, lots of Ukrainians might also stay. That happened in the past, by the way. There are lots of Ukrainians. I knew many Ukrainians when I was in Germany. Lots of them came and stayed, but they are not very different, And I mean, they are not the ones everyone points at and everyone knows for doing something wrong. And
they're calling for jihad. Ukrainians want to take over the world.
Islamitische landen. Zeg Schengen op en voer weer eigen grenscontroles in.
This sounds kind of sad that he says reject the open borders and reintroduce border checks. In Europe, you can very much freely travel across countries, across borders without having to show anything, which is very convenient, very nice.
Did that come in with the EU? Because I remember when I was a kid, I went to some countries and you actually got stopped at the border and had all your passport and everything checked.
I'm not sure if it started with the European Union, but there is an agreement called the Schengen Agreement, which is, I believe, part of the European Union. It is a policy of that, and according to that agreement, it's like the member states open their borders for everyone to freely get in and get out. It has been here for, I don't know, 2 decades or so, I think, or more even.
Isn't it cute, by the way, Europe trying to be like the United States?
Yeah.
Hey, let's just all combine. We'll be like the United States. Yeah, that's working out really well for you.
Well, at least they never really agreed to become a federation. If that happened, this is one of the great fears of right-wing parties like his party and many others, that these European leaders could eventually propose the absurd idea that we should actually become one country. And lots of people don't want that.
3. Begin met het ontmantelen van de instituties van
dismantling institutions such as mosques.
Van al die moskeeën die buitenlandse
and begin with all those mosques that receive foreign funding.
For example, the Diyanet.
Het Turkse ministerie van Godsdienstzaken, de basis.
Nice.
Niet wij.
I completely agree with this point.
Dismantling mosques?
No, not with the... I don't completely agree with dismantling mosques.
AP says all mosques must be dismantled. You heard it here, folks.
No, I agree with the other point. Which is that which is to dismantle mosques and Islamic institutions which receive funding from foreign governments, such as the Turkish government idea. And I'm aware of that one, for example. The Turkish government has a lot of influence on Muslims in Europe by directly, funding mosques and instructing them with with what to preach, what to teach kids, and all of that. It's just it is kind of weird. It's like you are directly having a foreign country that doesn't like your way of life. They freely infiltrate your country and freely teach to the citizens of your country that they should not like your system either, and that they should strive toward changing it. This is just it is insane. It's completely, it should be unacceptable. It should be seen as an existential threat by every single nation.
Question: how is a guy from Turkey the most anti-Turkish person I've ever met in my life? Anyone who's got a Turkish accent, listen to that Turkish accent, can't stand it. It's like stabbing me in the eardrums. And then dismantle all mosques. Like Turkey.
Number 4, lock up everybody who threatens with violence. Let's see.
4, sluit iedereen op die met geweld dreigt of geweld gebruikt, of zet ze ons land uit en pak die honderden aanhangers en die duizenden sympathisanten van de jihadistische beweging in Nederland, als het moet, preventief op.
Wait. Lock up the thousands of sympathizers of the jihadist movements in the Netherlands. Lock them off preemptively if necessary.
Preemptively. We seriously think you're going to commit a crime, so we're locking you up.
Yeah, we're just locking you up in advance.
I really don't like your beard, dude. We're locking you up.
Als het moet, preventief op. En 5, voorzitter, vraag alle scholen.
I love this point here. Number 5.
That's funny.
Ask all schools, newspapers, media to show a Mohammed cartoon.
Kranten, media, om een Mohammed cartoon te tonen. Niet om te provoceren, maar om te laten zien dat wij nooit wijken voor bedreigingen en geweld.
To show that we never give in.
Achter onze vrijheid staan.
And that we proudly support our freedoms.
Yes.
By the way, just imagine how that would be. Like if you're just driving down the street and there's like Mohammed cartoons on billboards and so on.
Yeah.
You'd have to think twice about whether you want to raise your kids there in that kind of environment. So he sounds like he's in general trying to make it less Islam friendly there.
Yeah. And what's funny? I'm just imagining a situation where you drive down the road and you see Mohammed cartoons everywhere. I can very much imagine that the average Muslim will start complaining that this is like pure oppression. It is like in one of those terrible movies, like a post-apocalyptic world. It's like I don't know, 1984.
Yeah, when these same guys want to behead you because you disagree with them.
Yes,
that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But not showing a picture of their fake.
Yeah.
Prophet.
How dare they do this? How can we even live here peacefully when there are cartoons of our Prophet Muhammad?
Yeah, you know where there aren't cartoons of Muhammad? In Saudi Arabia. Pakistan, go there. Keep in mind that's kind of like a litmus test. It's like, okay, if you really want to move here, if you really want to live here, and you are going to appreciate our freedoms, then we have the freedom to make fun of your prophet, and we need to set an example that we ordinarily wouldn't need to insist upon. But since there are so many people who worship your prophet, who are ready to kill over cartoons, we kind of have to make an example. We kind of have to set an example here, and we're going to put cartoons all over the place to test whether you're going to be okay with it.
I've never heard a more Islamophobic thing in my life. But what are you going to do? That's what we get. That's what you get. To wrap up, I have a message for all the Muslims in the Netherlands.
Boodschap aan al die moslims in Nederland. Die onze vrijheid, onze democratie en onze kernwaarden niet respecteren. Die de regels van de Koran belangrijker vinden dan onze seculiere wetten. En dat zijn er veel. 700.000 blijkt uit het onderzoek van professor Koopmans. En mijn boodschap aan hen is: wegwezen. Vertrek naar een islamitisch land. dan kunt u genieten van islamitische regels. Dat zijn hun regels, maar niet de onze. Dit is ons land. Niet uw land, maar ons land. Dit is Nederland.
My message is, get out. Don't let the door hit you. Bye-bye.
I mean, this is, it sounds harsh what he says here in the end, but there is nothing wrong with it at all. It's a very simple and actually very logical step here. My message to them is, to those who value, Islam's values and Islam's rules more than this country and its values, my message to you is very simple. Get out. Get out of here. Leave, go to a Muslim country.
En mijn boodschap aan hen is, wegwezen.
Enjoy life there.
Vertrek naar een islamitisch land. Dan kunt u genieten van islamitische regels. Dat zijn hun regels, maar niet de onze. Dit is ons land. Niet uw land, maar ons land. Dit is Nederland.
Based.
And that's such a simple point. If you want Islamic law, go to a country where they have Islamic law. If you don't think it's Islamic law enough for you, then try to make changes there where they already have a foundation of that, instead of like coming here and then saying, no, we have to institute the same rules as the countries we all fled to get here. And it's a very simple point. You want Sharia? I mean, my goodness, go to Afghanistan, bring some food. They'd love to have you.
It's and you know what's so funny? I will get a bunch of people here after this, after agreeing with that final statement from Geert Wilders. I will get people here who will say, "What? I can't believe you're saying these things. This is very disappointing. How can you become such a fascist, so far right?" When all we are saying is, those who say, hey, you know what, I value my Quran's rules more than your secularism and democracy. I hate it.
Yeah,
they should leave.
But because we know. Yeah, because if that's your message, then we know what your ultimate goals are, and it's not good for the people in this country. And so it's keep in mind, I'm not saying one word about getting rid of Muslims or kicking Muslims out. Not one word. It's if you prefer Sharia, stop trying to make Sharia here. Go to a place that has it. If it doesn't have enough Sharia for you in some Sharia compliant country, go there and try to tweak the system rather than moving to other countries that you like way better and then trying to destroy them.
Yeah. All right. There is something else from this guy, from Geert Wilders, that we could look into. Something that people who weren't around years ago might not know. And that is a film that he prepared, which was very controversial, which is called Fitna.
Fitna. That was way back in the day. What was that, like 2010 or something? I remember that was way back in the day.
Yeah. It was very much in response to the whole post 9/11 sentiments and stuff like that. Geert Wilders said Muhammad was a rapist, so Islam accommodates rapists.
No, here's what's crazy. That's offensive, but is it true?
It is completely true.
Oh, it's even older than I remembered. It was way back in the day, but this was 2008, so this is really way back in the day.
Oh yeah, that's when Fitna came out.
Yeah, that's back when there was no one dealing with this stuff. It was Robert Spencer, Pamela Geller, me, couple of other Christians, Jay Smith in the UK, Samuel Green in Australia, Tony Costa. No one was dealing with Islam back then.
Hey, you know what? I think sometime this week we should go live and review the film by Ayaan Hirsi Ali and Theo van Gogh, which is the whole submission.
Phenomenal film.
Yeah, we should do that. And also to remember that that the guy who made the movie with Ayaan Hirsi Ali was murdered because of that movie. So it should have more significance. It should be respected. It should be respected and remembered.
It should be shown everywhere all day.
Yeah, it should be shown, and it should be shown to everybody. Everybody should be forced to watch it. They should have their eyes kept forcibly open, like in that scene from A Clockwork Orange, and they should all be forced to watch it. Geert Wilders said Muhammad was a rapist, so Islam accommodates rapists. Erdogan is an Islamist, so Turkey will accommodate rapists. Do you want that to happen in your country as well? A vote for socialists or liberals or social Christian Democrats, all betrayers of freedom. I will stop Islam. This is very, it's very, very based. This is too based. Can't deal with it. Here we have a few rockets that say that say we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. What's wrong with you, man?
That would be funny, like a message to Hamas.
Yeah.
Hey, Hamas.
Here we have some guy here trying to be smart and responding to a peaceful Muslim who's just expressing his beliefs, who said Moses was a Muslim, replying with Muhammad was a Satanist.
What a bigot.
What a jerk, man.
What a
complete jerk. What an idiot. But here we have another video from Talk TV, in which it says a Talk TV investigation has unearthed footage of hate preachers in several Ukraine mosques.
What?
Jewish people to be
Impossible.
killed
They're just there.
amid the Israel-Hamas conflict.
No, they're just there promoting peace and tolerance.
Alhamdulillah, that's what they always do. That's what they always do. That's what they always do. That's what they do. Let's see. Let's check this out.
Now, Israel's war on Hamas has sparked suspected hate preaching in some of Britain's mosques. A Talk TV investigation today reveals footage of preachers in several mosques calling for Jews to be killed and Israel to be destroyed.
Is that guy not wearing an undershirt?
Of evidence to police and officers.
I can see his red skin through his shirt.
I think that's a reflection from a light or something.
Investigating.
Don't be a pervert.
Holly Hudson has this exclusive report, which comes with a warning that
I could see his nipples.
I can actually see a line here. Like look at this. You can actually see here. He has an undershirt here. So don't be judgmental. Don't be a bigot, David.
Allahu Akbar.
A sermon at the Redbridge Islamic Centre in Ilford. The speaker prays with his congregation in Arabic to curse the Jews and the children of Israel. Talk TV has
Isn't that Surah Al-Fatiha all day, every day?
by an actor.
Oh Allah, curse the Jews and the children of Israel. Oh Allah, curse the infidels and the polytheists. Oh Allah, break their words, shake their feet, disperse and tear apart their unity.
And give us the sexual strength of 30 men, like Prophet Muhammad, using Ali Dawa's orgasm intensifier pills.
Pay attention to something he says here in his prayer. Tear apart their unity. There is this constant messaging in Islam among Muslims, which I learned too, since I was a very young little dumb child, that I heard from my parents and from many others whenever I went to congregations, which is that the disbelievers, the enemies of Islam, the non-Muslims, they are all allies of one another. In fact, I heard this phrase, which is a very well-known, cultural phrase, which is Islam is one nation and disbelief is one nation, which means Muslims are alone against the entire world and all the disbelievers, because they all know that Islam is true, but they don't like it. They all work together. The Christians, the Jews, all the other religions, the polytheists and the atheists, even everybody, they all work together just to destroy Islam because they are jealous because Islam is so great. And this idiotic, stupid, very ridiculous, very incredibly dumb message keeps being repeated and repeated and repeated, which is why you hear this guy here say, tear apart their unity.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, that's why they get enraged if like a Christian and an atheist, let alone if Rabbi Shmuley jumps in there and then it's a Christian, an atheist, and a Jew all on the same side of some issue. It just enrages them. And they spent years trying to matter of fact, they were saying that at some point, like, we're gonna cause division, yeah, and we're gonna go over here and say to this guy, yo, does you support what this guy's doing? Oh, it's so shameful. We really want to like you and work with you, but not if you and they're gonna do, and then they all started attacking each other over stuff. They end up with the Dawa wars. That's what's funny. Guess what? I mean, everyone else at the end of the day can work together on a lot of issues. The Dawa guys, they can't even get along with each other.
We're proud of that.
Yeah.
Their homes.
And from London to
Yeah.
Liverpool.
If the 2 billion just marched on Israel, it's all over.
Keep dreaming, man. Keep dreaming.
Wait. First of all, is that real? Is that? I mean, is he right, AP? If hypothetically all 2 billion Muslims just united and said we're going to go attack Israel, they'd win and it would be unstoppable, right? No. You'd get blown to bits because every other nation would be like, wait, what are you doing? Oh no, not happening.
And they would start infighting immediately. They would be like, so who's going to lead? No, you're not leading. We are leading. Your understanding of Islam is corrupt. You are worse than disbelievers.
Yeah.
And they would start shooting each other and they would be dead.
That's what would actually happen. Other nations wouldn't even have to get involved.
I know.
The Muslims just start marching. Oh, the Pakistanis and the Afghanis. And they're all killing each other now. Oh, yeah. No. And then Israel's like, wait, you guys tried to unite against us and you all just like killed each other?
I know that would be actually like Israel wouldn't have to do a single thing. They would just sit there and wait.
Sit back and watch.
On the way, the Muslims, if they all came together and were marching, they would take each other out until that they couldn't even reach Israel.
They'd be sitting there eating falafel, watching this whole thing.
Man.
You spat in the direction of Israel, 2 billion, it's all over.
To Birmingham.
No, it's not. Fantasyland.
Hey, I know this guy.
But by the way, that's the same message that Mohammed Hijab has been sharing about like all Muslims uniting and the Ummah uniting and no one will be ready for it. And it's one, you live in total fantasy land if you think these guys can unite. They hate each other and want to destroy each other and can't get along on anything. So that's one issue. And two, even if you did unite, it would be like the lamest countries in the world uniting against like a vast array of countries that are significantly more powerful.
Yeah.
Will speak and say, "Oh, Muslim, behind me there is a Yahudi. Come and kill him."
Yahudi.
Preachers at mosques across Britain have been filmed calling for victory for Hamas.
Remember how Rabbi Shmuley brought up that Hamas mentions that hadith in their charter of killing all the Jews, and then Mohammed Hijab was like, "Oh, that's a hadith. That's a hadith."
No, eschatological hadith. Yeah. First he says hadith, and then wait, and then Rabbi Shmuley is surprised. Wait, that's from Muhammad? Yes, it's eschatological.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean we should just go around and kill every Jew. It means that we will eventually kill all the Jews.
Yeah, it means it's a goal. We're going to do it. It just doesn't mean I'm going to do it right now. Yeah. I have to try and build alliances like I'm doing on Twitter.
Don't be a bigot. Don't be unreasonable here. We're going to kill you later when the time comes, not now.
Oh God, heal our hearts regarding the usurping Jews and in every enemy of you and the Muslims. Oh God, limit their number, kill them indiscriminately, and do not leave any of them alive. Oh God, our Lord, disperse them, weaken their strength, shake the ground beneath their feet, and freeze the blood in their veins. Make them
freeze the blood in their veins. May the streets flow with their frozen blood sickles.
Is it just me? But it's like the way Muslims pray. It's like it always sounds very distinct, very like the whole language, the whole stuff to pray for. Well, you don't hear from many other religious groups. Stuff like, "Oh Allah, destroy them, kill them, one by one, take them all out, please.
Slit their throats. And after slitting their throats, disembowel them, pull their guts out, and shove them out of windows. Oh Allah, defenestrate them, and let them fall out of the windows, but be cut by their entrails, and hanging there for all to see, and for us to laugh at and mock. In the name of Allah."
That was pretty good. It's pretty solid.
It's pretty good prayer.
Yeah, it was very, very, very good. That was solid stuff. Yeah.
Against Jews and Israel with alarming anti-Semitic rhetoric.
Oh, revenger, revenge from the oppressive aggressor occupying Zionists. Oh Allah.
Oh, revenger. Hey, thank you. And Nigella Frisa made a super chat of $300, which is a great contribution to the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And even one that doesn't even have a message. Not even a message left, just a super chat made. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much. It's very helpful. Very, very much.
shake the earth beneath them. Oh Allah, limit their number, kill them indiscriminately.
Oh Allah,
and do not
kill them,
leave
please.
any of them alive.
Please
Rhetoric
kill
that in
them.
some cases is as violent.
Waterboard them, Allah.
Oh Allah, you know what to do. Cut
Start
off
a
their limbs.
fire.
One
Start
by
a
one.
fire on their chest.
Pull out their teeth.
And I
Well,
don't mean
yeah.
with a lighter, I mean with flint and steel, rubbing sticks together right on their chest. It will take a long time and be very painful.
Yeah. If I was gay, I would completely go for this guy. Look.
Yeah, he's sexy.
That in some cases is
Hey,
as violent
Hey,
as
Sheikh Uthman better keep his new wife away from that dude.
Oh man. And this guy's hook, like nice man.
the known hate preacher who delivered sermons at
I
Finsbury
gotta admit, that's
Mosque
cool.
brought the shut down
That's the cool part about this
in the
dude.
UK.
اللهم ألف بين قلوبهم وأصلح
In
هذين
Greenwich, this speaker ended his prayers with calls for Allah to grant victory over the enemy. The Met said while it understands the footage raised concern in Greenwich, no offences had been committed there.
Wait.
Delivered sermons at Finsbury Park
What
Mosque
did that guy
brought
steal?
the shut down, and he was deported from the UK.
اللهم ألف بين قلوبهم وأصلح هذين.
In Greenwich, this speaker ended his prayers with calls for Allah to grant victory over the enemy. The Met said while it understands the footage raised concern in Greenwich, no offences had been committed there.
Okay, see that's the thing with free speech, right? So
Yeah.
if he ended his speech just with that, which is actually very common. I heard that is one of the most common things that I can say is militaristic and offensive when you understand it, but that I heard lots of times in my life in mosques where they would pray, "Oh Allah, give us victory over the enemies of Islam, over those who do this and do that." But if you just say that, there is nothing really incriminating about it.
Yeah, especially even if you're saying, "Oh Allah, please destroy these guys, crush them, kill them indiscriminately, chop them to bits, chop them to pieces." Not against the law to be praying for God to do something to people.
Yeah. Something good to people. Yeah.
Being committed there. Jewish groups, though, say that police aren't doing enough and are calling for prosecutions in some cases, warning that some of these sermons could lead not only to hate crime, but extremism and even terror.
There is no difference between the rhetoric in the Hamas Charter and the rhetoric that is on display in these videos. They are utterly hateful, they are violent, and they are a threat to both Jews and non-Jews in this country. There is a real risk of more than just one person being encouraged by this rhetoric to go out and take action on the streets. And we've seen how bad that can be in the past.
And that's the concern, is that Allah fulfills his purposes through human actions. And so if your mosque leader is praying, "Oh, Allah, do this," well, what are you really praying for? When you're saying, "Allah, kill these people indiscriminately," you're not praying for something miraculous. You're praying for Muslims to go and kill them indiscriminately. And so you get that message. And so that's his concern there. But notice, you could bring this up to Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawa, and they will say, "Oh no, this is free speech." But these are the same guys who flip out over a Muhammad cartoon, right?
Yeah. That's pretty messed up. Pretty messed up. You know what the thing is? In the whole, this just reminded me of this group, Islamic Jihad. Lots of people might have heard in the context of the Israel-Palestine conflict and the current Israel-Hamas war, the name Palestinian Islamic Jihad. This group is actually separate from Hamas, and they are allies of Hamas, and they are much more explicit in their idea to this day that they think it is an Islamic duty upon them and all Muslims to fight the Jews and eradicate any kind of homeland which they might have, because it is a corruption on the earth and it is their duty to end it, and that Allah promised Muslims that they would eventually do this. They believe it is in their lifetime they will probably fulfill the prophecy of fighting and killing and eradicating the Jews entirely. So these guys are much more explicit about this stuff, and they are official allies of Hamas, and they work together with Hamas in the currently ongoing war against Israel. They were part of the October 7 attack, and they regularly preach all this kind of stuff focused on Jews. But what this guy just said, that their preachings in those mosques are not very different from what Hamas has in their charter, is no surprise, because Hamas's charter sounds like a very regular Islamic preaching. Sounds like something you can hear in a mosque. That's, yeah. Etsky said Japan has certain laws against Islam. I remember from several years ago that some people were saying that Japan has some restrictions against Islam. I'm not. I think when I fact checked it, it turned out that it was a little bit untrue. But I do believe that they have some immigration restrictions by country that might be in place. But yeah, Japan is not very welcoming, not as welcoming as Western nations.
Well, if you had repeatedly had your cities destroyed by Godzilla, you wouldn't be too friendly towards outsiders either.
Yeah, that was probably the reason. I think it pretty much leads back to that. You're right. White Lily made a super chat and said, David Woodsy's new clip, I can see his nipple. Yes, news clip. Okay. Seriously. Nick H said, Defo watch Doctor Who, Power of the Daleks, wildly apt.
I used to see that when I was a little kid, like 6 years old. They play the Doctor Who intro where it's going through a tunnel pointlessly, and then it's going woo. But the show was so boring to me that I couldn't watch it, so I never found out what was going on. But I love the intro. I've watched that like 10,000 times and then just stopped afterward.
I haven't watched a single moment of that in my life so far, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to change that.
He has confirmed that police are assessing video evidence from 4 of the 7 mosques we've highlighted. The Charities Commission is also examining some of the footage, as the majority are also linked to registered charities, meaning they receive taxpayers' money. In a statement, they said, we are aware of a significant number of serious concerns, which largely concern allegations of anti-Semitic or hate speech. We're assessing them, and if there has been any wrongdoing, we'll take action.
They won't do
Talk
anything.
TV reached out to all of the mosques and figures featured in this report. Redbridge Islamic Centre declined to comment directly to us, but previously said it launched an immediate investigation and decided that the imam will not be allowed to address worshippers again until it's concluded. No other mosques responded.
Not good enough. Not good enough. Shut them down. Shut them down. Hey, anyone in the chat, moderators, anyone who likes to help, there was a video by this guy. Some people might remember. He talks about signs of jinn possession. I looked for it earlier, but I couldn't find it. If anyone has a short clip of that, please send it to me. I would like to look at that here because it's funny.
When I was in Dearborn years ago, they had a giant billboard for gin busters. It's like, you got a gin in your house, something, but it's actually, is there something strange in your house? Called gin busters, and they'll take out the gin for you. By the way, can you actually see they made a book cover with you on it?
Who? Where? What?
That right there in this comment.
Oh,
that's the book. They're saying that's your book by Leather Strap Press.
I didn't even pay attention to the super chat yet.
Yeah, you're on there. Seeking Dawkins, Finding Jesus.
That's funny. Yeah, that's good. That's solid.
But it's actually a good looking book cover.
Yeah, it actually is. That's funny. That's nice. I'm going to get that book. It says, hey, David, just letting you know my new book, Seeking Dawkins, Finding Jesus by the Leather Strap Press, comes out this Christmas. Very nice. That's very, very nice, man.
Yeah, everyone, you know what to get for a stocking stuffer.
That actually looks very good. I'm going to buy that. Abu Bakr al-Pafdari said, please compare and contrast Christ's commands to baptize all nations with Muhammad's declaration that he has been commanded to fight the people until they all believe that Allah is the only God and Muhammad is his messenger. Do you want to contrast that quickly, David?
I mean, it's pretty interesting. So the end of the Gospel of Matthew,
Thank you.
Jesus says, go into all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. teaching them to obey everything I have commanded. So, but yeah, that is an interesting parallel with Muhammad's calls to violently subjugate the entire world.
Very, very cute. Very cute. Thank you. That was very nice. Very, very nice. All right.
TV reached out to all of the mosques and
Okay, we have seen this. We have seen this. There is another report which is could further complicate Turkey's ratification of Sweden's NATO membership bid. So there is a report from Sweden which says Swedish authorities must be handed the power to requisition and demolish mosques that are proven to be used to promote messages incompatible with Western values. And
Did you say Western?
Western, yeah. And the country should impose a ban on the construction of new mosques. The leader of the right-wing Sweden Democrats, Jimmy Åkesson, has claimed this is not a small party. This is not a small party at all. In fact, let me pull this up here. Let me pull up how big this party is. Here's Politico. They will have different countries. Let's have this country. Sweden.
Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece.
Oh no, that song. Look here.
Italy, Turkey, and Greece.
Here, the yellow one here, SD. That is the party. Sweden Democrats are a right-wing Eurosceptic anti-immigration party. They're currently at 21%, according to the latest estimations. This is not a small party at all. And they say that the government should be handed the authority to shut down and demolish mosques that spread values, that spread ideas which are against Western values.
That will get the message across that you can't be talking about this stuff.
Ooh.
And notice similar principle. Hey, not saying you can't be a Muslim or anything else, but if your goal is to ultimately subjugate us, no, we're not putting up with it anymore.
Yeah, and that's completely fair. Completely fair.
That is completely fair.
Entirely fair. It is not a right to come to our country and build monuments to a foreign and imperialist ideology. Åkesson had told his party is faithful. In the long term, we need to start.
He said it's not a right. You do not have a right to come to our country and have these kind of goals that you have.
Yeah. What is this stupid website with this huge banner up here? What kind of anyway? Cool. In the long term, we need to start confiscating and demolishing mosque buildings where anti-democratic, anti-Swedish, homophobic, or anti-Semitic propaganda or general misinformation about Swedish society is spread. They're just going for all of it.
Wow.
Nice. Minarets, domes, crescents, or other attributes that serve as Islamic monuments in the cityscape should be completely removed, he added.
Yeah, I don't even agree with that, but if it happens, I will probably lose minutes of sleep over it.
Yeah.
Minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
He elaborated on his view, insisting that people should have the right to have a gathering place if you worship a god or have a religion, but explained that the problem is when you force your religion on others by building monuments and having prayer calls. We do not think that is reasonable. Very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Sehr interessant.
Sehr interessant. And this party is not a tiny party, not a small party at all. In fact, it looks like they were started in 2010s and are currently at 20%, which is...
But yeah, look at them. They've been skyrocketing.
Yeah. This is what's happening, guys. This is what's happening. Don't underestimate the frustrations of people. Don't call it Nazi. Don't call it ridiculous. Don't say, oh, it's just hate. It's just propaganda. No, they will let out their frustrations. This is a national conservative right-wing populist party that is, very, very nice. Interesting. This is what all of this leads to. This is what these dismissing of people's concerns for such a long time leads to. Luai Ahmed, who is, I believe, from Sweden, he tweeted about this. Sweden's second biggest political party has announced that it wants to demolish mosques. It wouldn't surprise me if they became Sweden's biggest party in a few years.
Wouldn't surprise me either, because I know the jihadis aren't going to stop.
Swedes secretly hate Islam, and honestly, why would they love Islam? This religion has brought them nothing but trouble, riots, unwanted cultural wars, and easily offended parallels.
And lots of rape.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? This is true about Germany. Lots of people think Germany is too soft, too tolerant, too naive, too this, to that. But the German population, they don't like Islam. They don't like Islam, and they are not very much okay with the idea of having more and more Muslims there.
I can think of one German who really liked Islam, AP.
Oh, who is that? Who is that? What are you talking about?
I'm not going to name any names, but he was so evil that he totally ruined a mustache style forever.
I know that. I wanted to have that mustache, but then it's like I can't because of that guy.
I mean, that's like Judas completely ruining the name Judas, which was one of the most common names there were back then, and just completely ruins it for all time. This guy ruined an entire mustache style. No one can have it anymore.
Isn't Judas in Hebrew back then just Yehuda? Isn't that it?
Yeah, notice no one names their kid Judas anymore.
That's fun. That's nice. That's cool. I'm gonna name my child Judas. I'm never gonna have another child, so yeah, not gonna happen.
I think I told you before we wanted to name our second son Judah, and my wife's mom, who's Filipino, is going, that sounds like Judas, right? And and right before our kid was born, she walked up, she goes, I give you $1,000, change the name. I said, deal. And so when our third son was on the way, I was talking to her. I said, yeah, so we're naming our third kid Beelzebub, unless you want to pay me up.
Sanke said David Wood, long flowing locks, Christian, AP, shameful hair that doesn't even go below his eyebrows, atheist, draw your own conclusions.
He's wrecking atheism, man.
He's been making these posts recently. That's
and it's
funny.
cool because he doesn't even force his view on others. He just states the evidence and then says, draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, but you can't do that, man. This is illegal. Abu Bakr Puff Daddy said, AP, did you eat turkey? Yes, I did. I did eat turkey with a capitalized turkey. I did eat it, yes.
Yeah,
I also ate the other turkey.
We fry ours. We fry them. We fry our turkeys every year.
You fry all of turkey?
We stick a giant turkey into boiling oil.
Oh, okay. I fried the entirety of turkey. Swiss Apologetics said Ridwan could never marry a 9-year-old because he finally arrives. She's already 18. That's good. That's good. That's good. See, unintentionally legal. Yolanda Young made a super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Thank you, Yolanda. Francis Bouillet said, from river to the sea, would you like a cup of tea? Here is shekels. God bless and have mercy on us. Amen. AP needs Jesus. Love the sinner, not the sin. This is very, very interesting. From river to the sea, to tea, to shekels, to God and sin. Everything in here. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. From the river to the sea. Uthman's tomato ketchup said, Alan do Delilah. I recently had my eyes tested and got a new leather strap. In other news, my IBS has settled down. You see?
Hey, we should make little joke commercials for products like Uthman's tomato ketchup and Ali Dawa's orgasm intensifier pills, and just like randomly during our live streams. And now a word from our sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh, Grandpa.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look at this. Actually, I want to go on here. White Lily said, I love you. I truly do. I love all my fellow ex-Muslims. However, just because you're an atheist doesn't mean time is relative. Burn.
That's a sick burn.
Burn. I feel that. That's yeah. Well, not sure if I should send the love back now after this, but yeah, thank you, White Lily. I appreciate it very much. Time is relative. All right, let's see.
Did you call it the? Go back to that thing you just posted. The leather lens.
Now that Geert Wilders just got elected king of the Netherlands, will AP stop being late? Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
That's good. That's good. What are we watching, David?
Oh, Fitna. I haven't seen this since I watched it when it came out. So you're talking since it's 2008. You're talking 15 years ago.
What is Fitna? What are you talking about?
Geert Wilders put this out, and I remember it got banned everywhere, and then he had to put it on LiveLeak, which was a YouTube alternative. I don't even think it's still. I think LiveLeak eventually died. But yeah, so he put it on LiveLeak, and that boosted the popularity of LiveLeak for a while because everyone went over there to watch it.
Hey, this is like a joke, but it's actually real. Breaking Hamas official statement. We strongly condemn the statement of the Dutch extremist Wilders, who calls for the displacement of our people to Jordan, which calls for widespread international condemnation. We in the Islamic Resistance Movement condemn in the strongest term the racist statement of Dutch extremist Geert Wilders, in which he,
yeah. So his position is there's already a place for Palestinians. It's called Jordan. So,
but imagine Hamas calls you extremist, racist, appeals to international law, United Nations, accuses you of being fascist.
Yeah, it's the same thing. We're gonna kill you all. We're gonna kill every Jews. We're gonna wipe them out. We're gonna rape the girls and kill the baby. We're gonna take the hostages and wait a minute. We're the victims here.
Yeah,
we're the victims.
Man. Wild stuff. It's a wild world. So this is the movie by Geert Wilders from 2008, where he causes fitna by causing corruption and bringing controversy into the world by pointing out that Islam is full of controversy. Let's see. What is this beautiful gentleman here?
Yeah, that's the most famous of the Jyllands Posten cartoons. That led to the Danish cartoon controversy. That's the most. That's my favorite one of the cartoons as well.
Nice.
But I mean, think about the message that was way back in the day. It was that Islam is basically it's a time bomb. The fuse is lit, and it's not going to end well.
Prepare for them whatever force and cavalry ye are able of gathering, to strike terror into the hearts of the enemies of Allah and your enemies. It's very Islamophobic. What is this?
It is. Ooh.
What happened here?
According to Ilhan Omar, some people did something to someone.
Well, it looks like an accident.
Please I'm gonna die, aren't I? No. Say your, I'm gonna die. Say your prayers. And we're gonna think positive because you gotta help.
Boy, I forgot about this, man. I completely forgot about this.
Me too.
I remember watching this over and over again.
Not 9/11. I forgot about the video content.
Yeah, I forgot about this conversation here. Just sent chills down my spine like back then.
You gotta get off the floor. Now, stay calm. You're doing a good job, ma'am. You're doing a good job. It's so hot. I'm burning up. Monse, oye, estoy en alta chavido una bomba en el tren y hemos tenido...
والمشركين أعداءك أعداء الدين اللهم احصهم عددا وقتلهم بددا ولا تغادر منهم أحدا.
These are regular prayers, regular Islamic prayers.
Yeah, we saw they're still praying things like that.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Right in Great Britain.
Let people practice their religion. What's the problem? What's the problem? Thank you, Irregulator. Thank you so much. Etsky 17, thank you. All right, I'm waiting for it. This is too graphic. I forgot about this. Yeah, what am I thinking? I'm showing the movie Fitna.
Yeah,
like,
you're
I
gonna.
didn't even
Which is banned from YouTube, and you're sharing it.
Yeah. I don't think it's banned. It was just I think you can still find it in low quality.
It was back then. Let me see. Hang on. Release. The exact nature of Fitna's release was uncertain up until its official launch. This was due to concerns of the legality of its content and anticipated acts of terrorism. The Dutch press center, blah, 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 offered to release the film on the condition that Wilders would pay for the increased security required during the press conference and the weeks after it. Wilders declined to do so, citing prohibitive costs. Having failed to successfully negotiate a transmission of the film with any Dutch television station, Wilders created a website, fitnathemovie.com, 2008, with the intention of releasing the film. However, this was subsequently suspended. On 22nd March, the Dutch Muslim Broadcasting Association offered to air the film on the proviso that it would be previewed for any possible illegal material, and that Wilders would take part in a debate with proponents and opponents afterwards. Wilders declined, quoted as saying, "No way, I should have done that." Wilders released the film on the video website LiveLeak. The following day, LiveLeak removed the film from their servers after receiving threats that they described.
LiveLeak removed it?
Yeah, after receiving threats that they described as being of a very serious nature. The film soon appeared on various BitTorrent and video sharing websites. LiveLeak reinstated Fitna later in March after security upgrades offering increased protection to its staff had been implemented.
Well. How about that? It's not banned. YouTube doesn't have a rule against it or anything. So. Those who have disbelieved our signs, we shall roast them in fire. Whenever their skins are cooked to a turn, we shall substitute new skins for them, that they may feel the punishment.
It's a scientific miracle. A scientific miracle. How could anyone know that skin has something to do with feeling pain?
David is not just making this up.
That's one of their most common arguments for the scientific miracles in the Quran.
Yeah, this is an actual claim made by people. It's so ridiculous, man. But look how beautiful it sounds.
right before you say, look how beautiful it sounds, you got this guy.
But look how beautiful he sounds.
Look what he's quoting.
Oh, I remember this.
No, it's eschatological. It's eschatological. What, are you stupid? Seems like a lot of people take this eschatological hadith pretty seriously here.
No, what they were actually shocked about what he's saying, and they were protesting, like, "Hey, don't say that! Don't say that! I don't like it." That's what
they're all booing him.
Yeah. You're just misunderstanding that. And he took out his sword because he was not okay with the hadith. You know.
بسملة عندك كم سنة؟ 3 سنين. أنت مسلمة؟ بسملة أنت تعرفي اليهود؟ بتحبيهم؟ لا ما بتحبيهمش ليه؟ كده عشان هم إيه؟ هم قردة وخنازير. عشان هم قردة وخنازير؟ مين قال عليهم كده؟ ربنا. قال عليهم فين؟ القرآن.
For the mouse told me.
Yeah, I was told this as well. Lots of other people are told this whole stuff as well. I learned as a child that Allah turned the Jews into apes and pigs, or Jews are apes and pigs and stuff like that. What's very interesting is that to be very fair, this is taken from the Quran, but this is often exaggerated by Muslims and applied as a general statement about Jews. In the Quran, it is
a certain group.
Yeah, it's a certain group among the Jews who were, because of the Sabbath or something, they were turned into apes and pigs. But this has become very common in Islamic history, where Muslims just take it and say, "Oh, you see, they are so bad that Allah turned them into apes and pigs. You know, they are apes and pigs. Be careful when you are around Jews." It's incredible, man. Does the Quran say that, David? Does the Quran say that? It does? Man, it's very Islamophobic. Non-profit organization. I'm not going to read that. But thank you. Giovanni Garcia said, "Muhammad, are you really a prophet?" Let me answer this as a professional.
Let me answer this as a professional.
What professional?
The professional prophet.
Messianic Apostate said, "David, you didn't answer my question on your thoughts on the crowd that says refugees are welcome and keep the immigrants, deport the racists."
Pretty moronic. Pretty moronic. I mean, if it were actually like really nice, well-intentioned refugees, and if the people opposing them were actual just pure racists who hate everyone not of the same race, then I could see it. But it's not. It's anyone who recognizes, hey, we're bringing in lots of people in a country, and a lot of these people ultimately want to conquer and subjugate us, and they're going to do a lot of messed up things along the way. Maybe it's not a good idea to bring those people in and say, it's just racism. Just, no, kind of wouldn't matter what race these people are. If they have really bad ideas and are hell-bent on subjugating us, it's probably not a good idea to keep bringing piles of them in. And so, yeah, morons say this.
That's very Islamophobic as well.
You're Islamophobic.
Well, so what?
Hey, look at this. AP's an immigrant. Who's complaining about him besides jihadis?
Yeah.
And he's a Turkish immigrant. Do we have a problem with Turkish immigrants? Only if they want to subjugate us.
And when they speak with a Turkish accent. Unbearable stuff.
Yeah, if they have that dumb accent.
Regularly around us. Are all of these things from the Sunnah? If they are, then how do we use them? If they're not, then what's the proof and evidence that we should not use them? And how do we actually make ruqya? And we're going to discuss how to make ruqya. Who did not keep number.
I turned this on this video for a specific reason. Let's see. Oh, okay, wait.
Scholars, and it's something that can be sensed as well. So, jinn possess people for three main reasons. Number one, out of love. So jinn, they fall in love with people. And this is extremely important for our sisters especially. So, for example, you're leaving the house and you're not wearing the correct hijab. You're not properly covered.
A demon, a jinn, sees your big round bosoms, and what does he do? He possesses you.
A lot of makeup, and you have beautified yourself.
You have a lot of makeup on. You go outside, and of course, jinns. They're like, oh, I can't withstand this. Look at this.
I mean, we can understand this. Think about the perspective of the jinn. He sees the big round butt shaking. He's shaking right in his face. What is he going to do? Not possess you? Come on. Think here.
And then the makeup, of course.
Yes, and then the makeup all over your face.
Yeah, makeup, and then the jinn is like, okay, I'm done.
I wonder. So he's saying you've got these three categories of jinn possession. I wonder which one Muhammad's going to be.
Let's see.
And you're leaving the home, then don't forget that there are other creations besides men. There are men who are going to look at you.
And then there are women. let's not forget about. Let's be inclusive here, and not forget about lesbians who would also be very interested in those women who leave their
And
house.
the jinn. And the jinn may be a boy
yeah, and
jinn, or it may be a girl lesbian jinn. And the girl lesbian jinn, you may want to do something with you. You could actually make this case for Muhammad, where, I mean, think if Muhammad, he pull his shirt up so man can kiss him up and down. You got the gay jinn over here, he's looking at this. He's just doing this, smooching him all up and down his milky white flesh. Of course, that Muhammad's going to be possessed by a jinn and start Islam.
Man.
But at the same time, a jinn may fall in love with you.
Hey, hold up. I got another theory. Check this out. Right? People are always confused about all these hadiths about Muhammad being covered in semen. And they think, is it his semen? Is it Diha al-Kalbi's semen? You're ignoring. What about the jinn, right? The jinn, they keep seeing him pull up his shirt and people smooching him all over his body. What the jinn do? The jinn's looking at this and all of a sudden, skeet. Jinn semen all over Prophet Muhammad. Aisha has to come wash it off so he could go pray at mosque.
Yeah. That's wild. All the gay jinns, man. This is so messed up, actually. Like, it sounds ridiculous. It is very laughable. Like listening to this guy explain to us how if women leave the house with too much makeup on and this and that, jinn falls in love with her. They should be very careful. But there's something really bad and something really disgusting about this, which is that this is a perfect way to scare women and to control women who end up who believe what this guy says is true, so they cover themselves up, they don't go out of the house, they do exactly what the man says. They think, I don't know about this man, he taught me that jinns might rape me if I go out with makeup. If I go out to the store, jinns might rape me. So and then they actually feel controlled. This is a way of control. It's a very convenient way of controlling women, isn't it? Bad stuff.
Something very, very common. I had a case where a jinn had possessed.
Look, it actually happened.
A sister. She was waiting at the bus stop, and the jinn fell in love with her. She was walking through a park, and the jinn followed her. She was waiting at the bus stop.
Skated all up and down her.
And it actually possessed her. And when they fall in love, they're very, very difficult to remove because their love.
They keep pumping you.
She was sitting in a bus stop. That's what the jinn was waiting.
But don't worry, if someone catches you with the jinn, you just say it's Angel Gabriel. No problem. This is what Muhammad did when he got caught.
According to Islamic tradition, according to the Hadith, according to Muhammad, jinns eat they eat dirty stuff. They eat dirt. They eat bones. They eat dung and things like that. They are where people go pee pee and poo poo. The jinn is then hanging out there where there's pee pee and poo poo, and he's waiting there at the bus station where somebody did pee pee, and then the woman comes out and goes there to the bus station. She waits there for her next bus, and the jinn, while he's licking the pee-pee from the floor, from the ground, he sees the woman and he's like, oh no, this woman is too beautiful and she has makeup. Oh no, what am I gonna do? I want to possess her. I fall in love with her. I want to rape her. So that's what happens.
How it works.
This is sad. This is sad. This is reality. We all know it's true.
Fell in love with her, and it actually possessed her. And when they fall in love, they're very, very difficult to remove because their love is like almost a blind type of love. It's like, I would rather die.
They love you unconditionally,
it's
sisters.
Very romanticized, and in this way, they will say,
hold on. We should write one of those romance novels for Muslim women. But if notice, it's similar to like that Twilight series where a vampire falls in love with a chick.
Yeah.
It's like this jinn, and anyway, falls in love with this girl who's showing off her butt at the bus stop, and he's sitting there eating, and she's so beautiful. But then she falls in love with the jinn too because he loves her. He's the only one who loves her unconditionally. Her husband's always beating the crap out of her. Anyway,
and it's a solid story. That's what
that is. That would be an international bestseller in the Muslim world.
That could be a twist of Twilight. It would be that. That's actually nice. That is nice. RM said, "Can you please explain this hadith? Sahih Bukhari 3404." Let's see what this is. Allah's messenger said, Moses was a shy person.
That's Moses running around naked.
Oh, this one? I never actually read this hadith really through and paid attention to it. This is one of those where I'm like, I don't care.
You got to do it.
One of the children of Israel heard him. His body was okay. Moses was a shy person and used to cover his body completely,
but not shy as Muhammad.
Okay. Because of his extensive shyness, one of the children of Israel hurt him by saying he covers his body in this way only because of some defect in his skin, either leprosy or scrotal hernia, or he has some other defect. Allah wished to clear Moses of what they said about him. That's what Allah concerns himself with all the time. So one day, while Moses was in seclusion, he took off his clothes and put them on a stone and started taking a bath. When he had finished the bath, he moved toward his clothes so as to take them, but the stone took his clothes and fled.
I got your clothes. I got your clothes. You can't catch me. You can't catch me.
Moses picked up his stick and ran after the stone, saying, "Stone, give me my garment! Stone, where are you going? Stone, give me my garment back! I'm naked! Stone, come back here!" Till he reached a group of Bani Israel, children of Israel, who saw him naked then and found him the best of what Allah had created. His body was so sexy and pure and free from any deformation, any defect. It was wonderful, chiseled by Allah himself. And Allah cleared him of what they had accused him of. The stone stopped there, finally, because it realized this is very childish. And Moses took and put his garment on and started hitting the stone with his stick. And the stone started screaming like, "No, please, please forgive me, please, please no." By Allah, the stone still has some traces of the hitting, 3, 4, or 5 marks. This was what Allah refers to in his saying, "Oh, you who believe, be you not like those who annoyed Moses, but Allah proved his innocence of that which they alleged, and he was honorable in Allah's sight." This is so profound, man. This is amazing.
It's powerful, powerful hadith.
What do you think about this hadith, David?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It is very good stuff, right? Okay, no explanation needed. Cringe Muslims, you see, chat Christians, and notice. Sankey said the Netherlands had a strong anti-Islam politician before, Pim Fortuyn, but he got killed by a leftist. It's what paved the way for Geert. I know about this. Wasn't he? He was the guy who he was bald. He had no hair. He was killed by some supposed environmentalist activist because of his right radicalism. That inspired Geert Wilders. It was a long time ago. Yeah, this dude here. This dude. He was killed in 2002. Yeah. Right. Okay, we're done with this. We get the point. You can watch lots of this, but his name is Abu Ibrahim Husnain or something like that. Cooper Gates said, "Thank you, AP, for describing that accurately. Separation of church and state is violated just as much if the public sponsorship comes from a foreign entity as from a domestic one." Thank you.
فاليهود هم اليهود هؤلاء هم الذين يجب أن يذبحوا.
That might not make direct sense, but the Jew is a Jew, is basically saying they are all the same. Gotta kill them and hate them.
Famous picture, be prepared for the real Holocaust.
Oh yeah. God bless Hitler. Well, he also liked Islam, so this is very, I'm sure he's looking at this and thinking, "Ha, thank you. I also love your religion a lot." Oh, look at these Nazis! Look at these Nazis. Noam Walters said, maybe the worst problem of this all is that he lives in severe security measurements and safe houses for almost 20 years since the death of Theo van Gogh. Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, it was the same thing with Ayaan Hirsi Ali. She had to basically bulletproof the place she lived in until she couldn't even live there anymore, and that's part of the issue. I mean, notice it's a simple message. Hey, if you are planning on eventually subjugating us, get out. And that's just too much. That's too much for people. Or any sort of criticism of Islam's treatment of women, like in the that short film Submission. Nope, you got to die. You have to die over that stuff. And I mean, my goodness, the Dutch people put up with this for decades. They put up with this. And it looks like some of them are getting sick of it.
That's, of course, what an Islamophobe would say.
فإذا لقيتم الذين كفروا فضرب الرقاب حتى إذا أثخنتموهم.
Therefore, when ye meet the unbelievers, smite at their necks, and when ye have caused a bloodbath among them, bind the bond firmly on them.
No, because remember, there's no harm in Islam, nor reciprocating harm. That's the lens through which you interpret all of these verses, according to Muhammad Hijab.
Yes, that's what the harm principle in Islam says, according to Muhammad Hijab. Here's another report, by the way, from AP, which is
they stole your initials.
Which is it's my news network, AP, Apostate Prophet. Could I get in legal trouble for saying that? It's not. It's the Associated Press. But they have a report that says German police raid homes of 17 people accused of posting anti-Semitic hate speech on social media. To be specific, what they actually arrested is German authorities on Tuesday raided the homes of 17 people in the state of Bavaria accused of spreading anti-Semitic hate speech and threats targeting Jews online. What they actually did is the suspects were said to have celebrated the attacks by Palestinian militant group Hamas on Israel on October 7 and were accused of spreading hate speech against Jewish people on social media using symbols of banned terrorist organizations. So country after country, we get reports of European countries suddenly being tough and making arrests and raids and saying maybe we should shut some places down here because of all the hate that they spread. But meanwhile, you have stupid students in the West here and there, some Californians in America who are like, free Palestine, free Palestine. Hamas did nothing wrong. They're just fighting for freedom.
And it's good that they're doing it because guess what? That's part of the reason for the backlash. That's part of the reason. People are looking around going, wait a minute, now it's not just the jihadis. Now they've like won stupid college students over to their side. Oh, this is too much here.
Wonderful. Chinito said, Swiss, like myself, reject the notion of wanting to support the European Union for economical opportunity, but we would have to give in to the bylaws of the European Union. We'd rather pay the €1 billion in economic aid, be left alone with bilateral agreements. By the way, we have a minaret verbot. There is no call to prayer here, and also burqa verbot. Really, you have a minaret ban in Switzerland?
Das ist verboten.
I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware of that at all. Like that's very interesting. So it's very good to know, very refreshing in the middle of all of this craziness that is going on nowadays in this crazy world. Lou said, would you do a stream with Frank Steven? He's a popular anti-Islam Nigerian YouTuber who's shown clips of you two on his page. P.S. Gave Frank Turek his glasses back, David Wood. Yeah, I would consider it. David is angry at this comment. It looks like.
If I want Frank Turek's glasses, I will take them. What's he going to do about it? That's the thing.
Als door Allah getroffen neerstorten, nee, dat hoefde niet. Toen reden ze door, dat was allemaal verder best.
Maar ik denk niet dat er ooit een...
Oh, this is Theo van Gogh. We
There
were
we
just
go.
talking about him. He's asked, don't you think that someday there will be an idiot who wants to kill you? He says, no, I can't
Maar
imagine.
getroffen neerstorten, nee, dat hoefde niet. Toen reden ze door, dat was allemaal verder best.
Maar ik denk niet dat er ooit een idioot opstaat die...
Ik kan me niet voorstellen.
Je gelooft in de goedheid van de mens.
Nee, niet in de goedheid van de mens, in mijn eigen arrogantie. Dus dat heeft dermate veel uitstraling dat die kogels zal voor mij niet komen, denk ik hoor.
He says the bullet will not come for me, but hey, he was killed.
Ik zeg u, als ik de mogelijkheid had, ik zou vrijkomen.
This is the one who killed him.
En ik had de mogelijkheid om het nog een keer te doen, wat ik op 2 november heb gedaan.
That was November 2nd. We should have an anniversary every year and a discussion every year on November 2nd.
Yeah.
Someone remind us of that next October.
Yeah.
Wat ik op 2 november heb gedaan.
If I had the opportunity to get out and do what I did on that day, I would do it again and again and again. I would have done exactly the same.
Precies hetzelfde hebben gedaan.
The guy who killed Theo van Gogh for making a film.
I agree. Take lessons from that situation. I agree completely. People should, and they refused.
This is so Islamophobic, man. What's...
Such a cool picture of him, though, by the way, that one with the cigarette.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I want a picture like that, but I don't smoke. But I'll have to pretend.
Oh, the killer, he had, what was that? He wrote down warnings against Ayaan Hirsi Ali and Geert Wilders as well. Yeah.
Welt. Geert Wilders is taking over the Netherlands, so...
That's very violent. Throats must be split, skulls must be shattered.
That's the peace of Islam.
This is the path to victory. Are they going to show it? I don't want to show it.
I don't think they're going to show it. No, they're not going to show it. Wait, what? Did they show it? Oh, it looks like they showed him when they're taking him to the ground to...
Okay, yeah, they don't show it. They just show him get taken down. That was Al Qaeda. That was a different time back then. Remember, this was before ISIS became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine. Okay.
Oh, what the heck are you showing, man?
I can't imagine how social media would have been after 9/11 if it was around back then. That would have been crazy, man. We would have seen people say, "Oh, it didn't happen in a vacuum,"
and of course, this Bin Laden guy has some very interesting ideas.
Yeah, people would say stuff like that, probably. Yeah, which nobody would nowadays say, of course, right? I saw this. Somebody sent me this video earlier, and it's supposed to be a funny video. I hope it doesn't have any music here.
Hi. Thanks for the rose from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thanks for the rose from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I'm from the LGBTQ community. And I stand with Gaza, even though I will be executed if I will step my foot in there. I stand with Palestine, even though I don't know where it's on the map. I stand with Palestine, even though... Go educate yourself. You're not educated. That's Islamophobic. That's Islam. Oh, me? I don't hate Jews. I only hate Zionists. That's the same thing. Oh, me? I only care about Palestinian human rights because it's trending on TikTok. But I don't really care about Israeli human rights, or Syrian refugees human rights, or North Korean human rights, or Ukrainian human rights. I always see conflict in a very secure place, and I've never been afraid for my life about any family members who got kidnapped to Gaza, or had a few young friends of mine that went to a party in my country and never returned. They were raped, tortured, and slaughtered. Here are the names and photos. I never had that. I live in a very, very far away place, and I still tell you, educate yourself. I don't care that you live in Israel and you see those horrors every day and you have friends that you lost. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Educate yourself.
Wow. Okay. Man, this is just...
Chick made some powerful points. She's changed my mind.
Yeah. So satire is good, but man, it's too dark sometimes, isn't it?
Well, you and I both had the problem of people not understanding where we're joking or being sarcastic and so on. I get that like every single day.
Yeah, I wonder how many people took
in
her
the comments.
seriously.
Yeah, I'm wondering people, no, you shouldn't be supporting. You're wrong. Let me refute your points.
Yeah, you idiot. What are you talking about? Chupi said, AP, have you meditated on God literally wanting to be your dad? Your reasons for doubting the faith seem to be experiential, and fathers play a huge role in how we view God. Emotionally, God is a dad. Interesting perspective. Interesting perspective. I would rather keep that to myself, but I appreciate the input. Chupi. Sabi said, waiting for Australia to wake up. The PM is giving 800 visas to Palestinian refugees. Would they allow a Muslim citizen in the Netherlands marry and bring parents from Islamic countries?
Be interesting to see Australians waking up.
They should have more.
I mean,
Hamas
they're so far gone down there that they can have people out chanting "Gas the Jews."
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That happened in Sydney, wasn't it? In Sydney. Yeah, here it is. Let's look at that quickly.
Blue and white also in their sights. An Israeli flag torched and trashed. And today, the condemnation began.
This was an appalling act of indiscriminate violence.
It was not just the actions of the mob, but their words. Before some in the crowd turned back the clock to the horrors of history.
To see that mob chanting "Gas the Jews" and "F the Jews" should never have occurred.
To have the
Well, what are we going to do about it? Maybe we should have. Maybe we have just failed these poor people. Maybe we should just be nicer to them and try to befriend them. And maybe we should take some ideas from the one that we all consider bigoted, Jordan Peterson, and we should arrange pen pals for these people. We could do different things to solve this problem. What do you think, David? What should be done to people who say "gas the Jews, gas the Jews, gas the Jews"?
Yeah, it depends because it is rough to just go in and say, "Oh, you said words, and therefore we're gonna, massacre you" or something like that.
Well, why not?
You gotta do something, right?
Yeah. So what do you do? What's your solution?
I mean, if it was me, I would say, okay, since you said that, the entire nation is going to rise up now and tear up Qurans and urinate all over them. And then we're going to post all the videos on pissonthequran.com. And we're going to do that every time you guys start saying stuff like that.
That's very disrespectful, man.
I think for some reason, I think that would be wildly more effective than just locking dudes up where they do prison dawah.
That's very disrespectful. You want to actually disrespect a book?
By the way, any one of those guys who's actually an immigrant or on visa or something like that, I would send them home if they're saying stuff like that. But yeah, I'm in favor of whenever possible. There are situations where responding to speech with speech doesn't work. But it also depends on the laws there. Like, are you allowed to say that sort of thing? If you are, and you're allowed to say stuff like that in Australia, then yeah, I would respond with more speech that is that they will find offensive, let's say.
So you actually want to disrespect a book because these people happen to say something about
and again, we look at that and say, what? That's nothing. No, that would be wild. That would be wildly more effective than other stuff that you do.
Well, it's just what Islamophobes say. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Okay. Let's put up this guy's picture here. He deserves
What is up with that hair, man?
He just let him enjoy his victory. Let's put his picture up here. He has strange silver hair. Christian Gun Nut 2001 said Muhammad's strength of 30 men, Islamic Solomon's strength of 300 men. Well, that's
no, it was
such fantasies.
Oh yeah. If you did the math, because I think Muhammad had sex with 9 in one night, and Solomon, according to the hadiths, had sex with 90. And so if in one night, and therefore if Muhammad had the sexual strength of 30 men, then you have to multiply that by 10 for Solomon. So Solomon had the sexual strength of 300 men, according to Muhammad in the Hadith.
Probably more. I won't settle for that. Joshua Wooden said, told by tater tots or Andrew apologists that they think he is innocent and like flat earthers, no evidence is good. And more of the world should reject Islam. Yeah, just it's a hopeless situation, but in the end, we have a court that directly issued an indictment and directly charged him officially with organized crime, human trafficking, and rape. So people on the internet might think whatever they want with their stupid opinions, but the people who are actually in power, in charge, don't really agree with them. So,
by the way, Tate earlier today tweeted, as a Muslim, I have enormous respect for Christians, and I state this from a position of kindness. The universe has always ensured that the weak were conquered. Every weak nation, every weak race, every weak faith. Stop complaining about Islam and look in the mirror. If you do not stick up for yourselves, if you do not hold the proponents of your faith accountable for degrading it through tolerance, if you allow yourselves to be constantly mocked, you will be crushed and replaced by Islam. I genuinely encourage Christians to stick up for themselves. Islam is not your enemy. Weakness is. But that's so weird. He's saying, hey, Islam is not your enemy. But he's saying, if you don't stick up for yourselves and fight against Islam, you're going to be crushed by Islam and be subjugated and replaced. But it's not your enemy.
How does it make sense?
It doesn't make sense at all. It's Andrew Tate.
Man.
It is interesting, though, that it sounds like he's encouraging Christians to stand up against Islam.
Christians, as a Muslim, I tell you, you should fight back. Fight back before Islam crushes you.
Christians, Muslims are coming to crush you, and you need to stand up for yourselves and drive them out. But Islam is not your enemy. Weaknesses. The weakness that will get you crushed and replaced by Islam if you don't crush them first. But they're not. It's not your enemy. What a dope.
Beautifully said. I tweeted something earlier today, and I kind of want to talk about this at some point, but I'm not sure if I want to talk about this today or some other time. Did you see this tweet that I tweeted?
No, I haven't.
Did you see this X that I X'd earlier? RM said, please explain this. Oh, we already checked that. Thank you. Foxhole 5 said, Muslims and pro-Palestinians say Israel is a Euro entity in the Middle East, yet they don't have a problem with the Turkey. Turks are not from that region. Yeah. They came all the way from the other parts of the world and settled down there and all that. And by the way, lots of Jews in Israel are actually from the region. The highest percentage of Jews in origin are Mizrahi Jews, who are actually from the Arab world and from the Middle East. The Ashkenazi Jews who came from Europe mostly settled there after purchasing homes there. They didn't come and take people's homes by force. So there's some history to that. I tweeted this here earlier, David. I said, secular atheist societies are naive and fail to recognize the threats they face. Historically, Christian Europe robustly defended itself against existential threats.
Racist.
Post-Christian Europe firmly resists a return to Christian norms, but fails to recognize an enemy that is significantly more hostile and a much greater threat to everything that makes Europe, Christianity, secularism, or even atheism great.
Atheism's not great, but go ahead.
Secular Europe defends itself from its past, but lets the guard down in front of an enemy that is against its past, its present, and its future. Secular societies are famously open-minded and want progress at all costs, which can be great in a way, but this open-mindedness might be both their best friend and their worst enemy. These are only my thoughts at the moment. Now, some people agreed with me here, and the other people were like, what are you saying? Christian Europe was better? What about the Dark Ages? What about all of these things? What about inquisitions? What about this and that? Which is like, it has nothing to do with anything I actually said.
No, and one, it's bogus. The Dark Ages is basically a myth. There was some problems there, which were in large part the result of Muslims starting to invade port cities through piracy, and people having to pull away from port cities, and thus slowing down trade and so on, and that led to some other areas elsewhere. But no, Europe was constantly making progress during all this time, over and over again, and it didn't matter what the setbacks were. You could have bubonic plague knocking out a third of the population. They just make a comeback and have like the Renaissance and so on. So
now you have bubonic plagues.
Yeah, this is interesting because Jordan Peterson, I saw him. I'm trying to think which video this was in. But yeah, he was saying that he used to think of this, in religion, then we needed the Enlightenment and so on. And he said he's come to recognize this as like post-Enlightenment propaganda against what happened before it. And so guys, you've fallen for some propaganda if you're complaining about what AP said right there. Stop being stupid and racist.
Thank you, regulator. Thank you, regulator. Thank you,
regulators. Mount up.
I even had some people who are friendly with me and who worked with me before attacked me over this. And the thing is, I thought it was very clear what I'm pointing out here, but some people just don't want to understand it, I guess, and want to read into it. And what I'm saying here is that it's kind of obvious that in these secular societies, in this post-Christian, post-modern environment, it's very common for secular societies to naively and stupidly import massive numbers of people who hold extremely problematic ideas, to get them here and to downplay anything that they say, any of the threats they openly pose, and are like, oh, let's just make peace with each other. When a Christian comes out and says something Christian, it's like, what is this? This is bigotry. This is medieval stuff. But such as that we should believe in God and pray. But when a Muslim comes and says, we want to take over and we want to chop off your heads, then they're like, don't generalize. This is just a few people who say this stuff, and they don't even represent anyone. Most of them are completely peaceful people who just want to love all of us, and they just want equal rights, and they love gay people. So with that naivety, it's very predictable that if you left the society to those people, they would collapse. They would fall because they couldn't defend themselves. You see it right now. You see stupid people in the West celebrate the Palestinian resistance and Hamas and make excuses for them and say, well, if you put them in an open prison, what do you expect them to do? Everyone, if I was in their position, I would also go around and chop up kids and rape women. So it's very wicked and very messed up. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying here. And everyone knows that, right? Thanks. Thanks for listening to my speech.
And stay away from Islam.
Chloe, history of food and games. Hey, thank you. Said yesterday Aisha was 9 guy reaction.
Oh yeah, Chloe was the one who kept requesting that video.
Oh yeah, I should show that to you one more time because I love it.
Yeah, I want to find the original. And guys, again, if anyone knows who that guy is, we want to have him join us for a live stream.
She was 9 years old.
It was the perfect thing to do.
She was 9 years old. The one that I find on YouTube is for some weird, odd reason sped up. Who did that?
Yeah, we should take it and then like slow it back down.
Yeah, but why would you do that? Why would you do that? And why is it so hard to find? That this is a legendary video. It should be everywhere. It should be everywhere on everyone's hard drive. It should be on everyone's website. It should be on everyone's Twitter feed. It should be pinned on everyone's Facebook profile. I don't know if anyone still uses Facebook, but grandmas and old people, they should all pin it on their Facebook profiles. Then all of the other platforms which are also used by old people, such as Truth Social, which is used by 65 and older people, Like people should be sharing this kind of stuff there. This should not be forgotten.
It's also something, it's also something that should be imitated whenever possible. I mean, anytime you're at anyone who's watching, anytime you're at some big rally and people are yelling from the river to the sea, this kind of stuff, or calling for violence or something like that, then make sure there's some people around, make sure someone's getting a good recording. And then Muhammad was 54 when he penetrated a 9-year-old. Just spit it.
Yeah, from the river to the sea, something like that. I never heard that before. That's very weird.
I just made it up.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Here. I'm gonna make it slow now.
Oh, you're gonna slow it down? Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Please. Mate, you wanted to get something in? Yes, please. I would like to say
It's still too fast.
No, it's good. No, it's good, man.
that there is a big problem
No, okay.
in Islam. It's written in the Hadith, which all good Muslims believe in the Hadith. And it is written in the Hadith that Prophet Muhammad was 50 or 53 years old when he sexually penetrated Aisha.
I love that they just jumped in right there.
Oh, she Step away,
She was 9 years old. This guy's saying you're better than him. No, they're not better than him.
Yeah, you're better than the guy who fearlessly speaks the truth in the front of a mob. You're better than him because you just want to beat him to death.
Leave him. I give you an opportunity to talk. Okay, but you guys.
This is amazing.
That wasn't exactly a clever move, mate, was it? It was a very clever move. You really think so? It was the perfect move. You know, it's people like you. It's people like you. No. How old was Joseph? How old was Joseph? Oh, how old was Joseph?
This is so good. I love this scene. I love him saying it was the perfect move.
Yeah, clever move.
It was a very clever move.
You really think so?
It was.
People like you.
It was. But think about what they're saying right now. This dummy who's holding the camera. That wasn't a very clever move, was it? And you're thinking, why? Why wasn't it clever? Oh, because the mob surrounded you. See, that wasn't clever. Whereas this guy's thinking, oh, it's very clever because now it's going to go. Now everyone's going to watch it.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened, and we're sitting here watching it. So, yes, it was a very clever move. He is 100% correct.
Seriously, I really want to speak to this guy. I want to have him here on a live stream on our channels. This guy's a legend. I love this. This is hilarious. If anyone knows who this is, or if he is somehow watching, please get in touch. Let's have him on here. That would be
and let's it'd be awesome to watch this like 20 times with him and keep getting his reaction over and over again. You know what I mean? We'll just sit here and watch it and laugh, and then watch it again and laugh.
This is so good.
Ask him what he was thinking. Ask what the background is.
Yeah. That's good, man. Sasha Kenslenko said to you guys, shekels to you guys. Thank you for the shekels.
Cha-cha-ching.
10 for educating me about up truths of Islam in a fun way. It helps a lot to know you exist. Still in shock from madness of October the 7th, anti-Semitism around the world. Yeah. Man, it's very Islamophobic of you to complain about being attacked by terrorists. Just so you know, Sasha, this is very. I can't accept this. Man, wish you all the best, and thank you for the shekels. Say hello to Mossad. She was 9 years old. Said, don't know if you remember AP.
It's funny how it almost matches perfectly what's on the screen.
Here,
right there.
Yeah, got it. Awesome.
There you go. Wow, this is some trippy stuff right here.
This is magic, man.
You just clicked on it, and yet this person over here already had the picture.
That's awesome. That's
She
awesome.
was 9 years old, is a time traveler.
She was 9 years old, said hashtag she was 9 years old. Don't know if you remember, AB, but I made the under your umbrella thing if anybody wants to see. Really? You did? wait, you did? Where's your profile? I have to find your profile now. Do you have it on your YouTube channel or something? Or did you send it to me? I hope you're talking about what I'm thinking of. Too much fun not to share publicly. I'm not a professional like Tate, though. By the way, Aisha was 9. I recently suggested that somebody should make a parody of something that. Wait a minute.
I see this as a threat in Islam, in the more fundamentalist.
I probably can't play this because there's music in it. Man, can I? I don't even know.
Forms of Islam. It's like, well, you should submit to Allah. It's like, hey, fair enough. Allah is interpreted by who? Oh,
what?
Egalitarian, misogynistic mullah.
Wait.
Don't buy your Allah. You Shiites,
Don't
Sunnis,
buy.
Okay, I have to listen to this later. I think I can't really stream this for too long on a live stream because music is a very sensitive thing on here. But I recommended that somebody should make a parody of the song Umbrella by Rihanna with Jordan Peterson saying,
I don't buy your Allah.
yeah, so it'd be like, because she says, you can stand under my umbrella, Ella, Ella. And it could be like, I don't buy your Ella. I don't buy your Ella, Ella, Ella. Something like that. That's good. I'll check it out. Eduardo Mijares said, what brand of LED lights do you have on AP? I don't know. Some garbage brand here. F7 Pocket. I wasn't paid for this, by the way. This is a random question.
I'm looking. I've got a couple of those around here. I just don't turn them on for live
David-
streams because I don't need the attention.
David copied me. He got the same thing after I got it. That's what we do. Ayatollah Khamenei-
Yeah. I always thought that those things that light up your backgrounds had to be like giant, and it's the same size as like a cell phone.
Yeah, it's tiny stuff. Ayatollah Khamenei said, "I ate turkey, and now my finances have collapsed, and I'm wearing a Shriner's hat." Everybody always mocks Turkey. Can't be Turkish. White Lily said, I can't watch 9/11 videos. They hit hard since I saw the second plane hit while in class at 12 years old. I dealt with terrible identity crisis, literally can't hold back tears. I lived in NYC. You did? Oh. And as a Muslim, you just said earlier, fellow ex-Muslims, right? 12 years old at 9/11. Huh. That's about... How old was I? When was 9/11? Was it 2001? Okay. I was 10 years old. 1901, Elena said, David, new Christian here. It's hard to understand why God allows such an oppressive false religion as Islam. People born in these countries barely have a chance. You shouldn't scare David with these questions that he can't answer and will run away from. So, yeah.
Yeah, I actually liked the original George Bush's response. He was just speaking at something, and then someone's like, well, what about all the suffering in the world and this and that and this pain, and look what here and this group over here is at war, and you go, and so how do you reconcile that with your belief in God? And so he's just like trying to call him out right there. And George Bush goes, never occurred to me to blame God for all that. It's like if we're the ones screwing everything up. Anyway.
Yeah. Interesting stuff, man. Seeking Dawkins, Finding Jesus, brilliant book cover, by the way. It said full image on my description, by the way. Feel free to use. I shall look at it. I shall look at it.
Hey, you should take that image and just post it on Twitter, and just don't say a word. Just post it on Twitter and watch people flip out. and just say, hey, my new book's about to come out.
Yeah. I already got people today say, why are you shilling for Christians now? Are you a Christian? Yeah, what are you converting? Shut up, man. Hervey Schmervy said, if you guys ever could, would you debate Hassan P?
Is that dude that sucked on Piers Morgan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed like he sucked. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what we would even debate him on, but
I think he would just yell at us.
I don't think he's. Yeah, I think there were way better people on Piers Morgan than that dude. He seemed like the worst to me.
Yeah, he would probably just yell at us, and that's probably a little bit annoying. But yeah, I would. Why not? If he wants to debate about
Hassan, come on here.
Hassan P.
You're invited.
Hassan P. We invite you hereby to have a debate with us
in the real war room, not the fake Andrew Tate one.
Although you are Turkish, still, it's okay. You can come. We can have a debate. Cameron Schwartz said, have you guys noticed Megyn Kelly's podcast on Israel-Palestine conflict lately? She's amongst the most prominent pro-Israel commentators right now. I don't even know who that is. I heard that name quite a few times, but I don't really know who it is.
She used to be one of the most popular... she used to have one of the most popular shows over on Fox, and then went over to MSNBC, and then it didn't work out because totally different crowd there, and then I think went off on her own. But no, I haven't been following her on this issue.
Even looking at her picture, it's like I've never seen that person before. I'm probably really out of touch.
Well, because of your cultural background, you don't trust women reporters.
Yeah, well, that's Muhammad said, if whenever there is a woman can't flourish, can't be successful, he'll fail. Black Milk said Takikaju is a capybara. What is that?
I think it's a giant fat rat. I think.
Why do you have to be so disrespectful?
Yeah, there you go.
Why do you have to do this, man? Like, leave the guy alone. Does this look like Daniel Takikaju? I don't think so.
No.
Chloe said, can confirm Jin in Assassin's Creed Mirage tries to grape. But really, does that appear in that game? Hey, you and I should. You haven't played many games in your life, you said, or not recently.
I played a ton when I was a kid, and only a few since then. I would do it.
You and I should play this game, Assassin's Creed Mirage. It is actually Assassin's Creed is a very popular game series, which you might have.
Hey, I should come your way. We can record like a shaky booty video, a couple videos, and then us playing Assassin's Creed. I'll probably suck at it, but
specifically because Assassin's Creed Mirage is about I think 9th century Baghdad or something like that, and it's quite interesting. It's like immersion into Islamic culture. Tatiana said, thank you, Tatiana. David Wood, AP, you have full authority, power to create and enforce all laws. What is the ideal, realistic fix to the Islamic problem in the West? Ban the Quran? Demolish mosques? What is your answer?
I wouldn't ban the Quran or demolish mosques. Guys, I've said my position. I think ideally, if people were accurately... So if politicians and journalists and educators and entertainers were all like sane and reasonable, I think this problem goes away really, really quickly. I'm not saying everyone would leave Islam once the facts were all out there. I'm saying so many people would leave Islam that Islam would be so incredibly weakened that it just wouldn't be the kind of threat that it is. And so, ideal situation. I'm just think about it. If you had news programs and it comes up as actual topics when there's a terrorist attack, they actually go into the sources and explain why it's there and show how Muhammad is the actual source of this violence, instead of covering for him and bringing on Muslim spokesmen to do dawah so that the news agency can show how tolerant they are. And we're going to have Dawa guys on there to explain how this has nothing to do with Islam. And of course, they promote Islam on the show. So just imagine if it was actually different. If when someone says, "Oh, but the Quran's so perfectly preserved," imagine they actually report facts instead of covering up things and so on. So I think it's actually very easy to expose Islam. So best case scenario would be everyone actually understands it and can criticize it in the right way, in which case I think the problem goes along very quickly. But two, even if people didn't want to get involved, even if journalists and politicians didn't want to get involved, good, shut up and get out of our way. I think we can deal with that problem. I mean, think about the situation we're in right now, right? Again, if you go back 15 years, there are only a few of us who are there are only a few people dealing with Islam and actually going through the sources and putting that information out there. And what was against us? What did we have against us? We had politicians simping for Islam, journalists all over the place, constantly defending Islam, calling us liars. The entire education system, how can we help and support Islam? All of Hollywood, how can we help and support Islam? That's what we had against us. Everyone with power to mass manipulate people, they were all against us. Social media companies constantly banning us for responding to things. These guys could be calling for jihad. We simply report what they're saying and actually go to the source, and we get banned. We get banned over this stuff. So this is what we had everything against us. And guess what? People are still coming around. Imagine if we didn't have everyone against us and people who don't actually want to stand against Islam just said, okay, we're not going to stand against Islam, but we're going to let you guys do it. We're going to keep our mouths shut, but we're not going to hinder you. I think Islam would be dealt with pretty quickly that way. So I do not think you have to. But here's the thing. Going along with what AP was saying, I believe if we don't actually deal with it peacefully while you have the opportunity, yes, then you get the bloodbath. You get the inevitable bloodbath. And when people are too fed up, they don't believe that they can deal with this peacefully, and they're going to respond violently. And it's going to be partly, in large part, the fault of people who marginalized and silenced them and called them racist for all these years.
I haven't heard a more Islamic.
So it's just amazing to me that the people who actually tried to deal with the problem peacefully, non-violently for years, they're the racists and bigots. But the people who are trying to silence everyone who's concerned about the people who try to silence everyone who wants to deal with the problem peacefully, these are the guys who are driving the world inevitably to an epic bloodbath, and they think they're the good guys. Bunch of morons.
Today's hero for the Palestinian Hamas cause in the Israel-Hamas war is none other than a perfect symbol of an Islamic society as advocated by Hamas. Gigi Hadid. She said, she's trending.
That is the worst burqa I've ever seen.
She's trending, and everyone is responding to her. And I specifically didn't click on the trending tab because it is a name from pop culture, and I usually don't click on those. But I saw somebody post about it, and I thought, wait, are you kidding me? Seriously? So apparently she made a post, which is, Israel is the only country in the world that keeps children as prisoners of war. By the way, those children, as you described them, are not prisoners of war. They are prisoners from under different, with different crimes, including throwing stones, Molotovs, and many other things. If you do such threatening actions in any society, you will probably get in trouble and be put in certain facilities for children or adults.
Yeah, if one of my kids goes and hurls a rock and busts a cop in the head with it, yeah, he can be arrested. That's pretty normal there. Gigi, Miss Smarty Pants.
Yeah, Gigi. Abduction, rape, humiliation, torture, murder of Palestinians years and years and years before October 7, 2023. Well. What are you going to say about this? I'm pretty sure that she didn't do a single condemnation of October 7. I can already imagine that. I don't even have to check. But hey, I wish, I just hope that you go to Gaza on your way to advocate for more, Gazan stuff and Hamas stuff. Go do some modeling like this there, under the authority of Hamas, and maybe then contribute with this modeling and these images. You can also go and I guess post nude there, and donate from those funds then that you get to Hamas to supposedly protect the children against this terrorist state that is Israel. And I wish you good luck. Yeah. All right. And maybe also take a few gay people with you who would also advocate with you. That'd be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to respond to Tatiana. Tatiana said, you have full authority, power to create. What would be the best thing to do? Demolish mosques? I wouldn't ban the Quran. I wouldn't demolish mosques. I wouldn't do these things. I would crack down on refugees, on taking in refugees, crack down on easy access to immigration. I would start harsher surveillance of mosques and Islamic institutions and buildings. And as soon as they utter certain things that go against the law, would then remove any right of anyone involved to ever work in anything related to religious worship and religious service ever again, and deport wherever possible. Would go and look for all of those who say things on the internet, such as that, some people deserve to be killed and things like that. Because even in a country like America, if somebody justifies the killing of people based on specific ideas, it borders on going against the law and can go against the law. And so if I was in charge, I would crack down on those too. I don't know. Hard question. I will let you know when I'm the dictator. I will let you know when I'm the dictator, and it will be very nice. Believe me. I'll probably create a cult or something. I don't know. It's very nice.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
Yep. Heath Blair said, is he talking about gins or Johns? This is a good one.
That would be funny if at the end he goes, oh, did I say gins? I mean Johns.
Giovanni Garcia said, why do all Muslims have Abe Lincoln beards? Is that a fashion thing, or did their one-legged God tell them they can't have a mustache beard combo because of the Zionists or some nonsense? You are almost correct.
That was Muhammad's style.
Muhammad was like, those people leave their mustache and those people do this and that. So we should be different from them. Therefore, you believers, you Muslims, you do keep your beard long, let it grow, don't cut it, keep your mustache short. The whole idea behind how to trim your beard and your mustache is based on being different from those evil disbelievers, from the kuffar. Everything in Islam is always about that. Yeah. Sakir said, you laugh, but Muhammad went outside without a hijab and look what happened. Angel Jibreel got all crazy, wanting to be his special pen pal and choke him. I know, that's insane, right? It actually happened to Muhammad. He almost got raped in the cave by Jibreel. The only way he could get out of that was to read. And he was like, I can't read, please don't do it to me. And then he actually read something.
I heard someone, I forget who it was, but an Arabic speaking Christian said when he reads the stories in Arabic, he says it sounds like rape. It sounds like Gabriel's like raping him and telling him to that he can only get out of this by reading, and he's like, I don't know how to read. It's like the dumbest thing ever.
Hey, this is not funny, man. Stop making fun of this. Stop making light of this. It's not funny. It's very serious stuff. GS said, did you ever see Geert Wilders saying, don't mess with Texas? I haven't.
I think I recall that from back in the day. By the way, Geert Wilders, I think, was at the cartoon contest where that was attacked in Texas, where the two jihadis was actually a team of 3, but 2 of them actually went out to do it. But they actually were going there to kill Robert Spencer, Pamela Giller, or Geert Wilders, and so on. And that became the basis for Islamicize me.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. It's good.
Gabriel.
Ayatollah Khamenei. Yeah, I think I made a joke way back when I made a video about that stuff. Ayatollah Khamenei said, "Great, I just ginned."
Then I ginned in my pants.
Jean-Michel B said, "From the river to the sea, pedophiles they want to be." This is good.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. Very, very good. That's also perfect in a French accent. From the river to the sea, poo poo pee pee. DR said,
shake,
shake your booty.
Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
That's an actual song, isn't it?
It is. You need to sort of redo it so you can use it for your videos.
Nice. AB Gay said, "AP, if you went speaker's corner, would you fear for your life?"
He wouldn't need to, because he'd have old thunder and lightning here guarding him.
Yeah, I would probably not go by myself.
Yeah, he'd roll up in a squad and regulate that place. Just run that whole place. Totally take it over.
Yeah.
Show up like 20 deep going, what?
I would be the boss there.
Yeah, what?
What?
Respect.
Speaker's corner, what? DR says, "Free Palestine from Hamas." Absolutely. Free Palestine from Hamas. Daniel what? Daniel, he blamed the Jew. Low Hikmah.
Daniel, he blamed the Jew. Low.
Says, since AP loves Hitler, he should say Alhamdu Hitler. Man. Who started this misconception?
It's funny. We've been talking about how all these things like become part of the community based on previous things, and then they sort of gain momentum and they become part of like how we talk. But like someone jumping in there be like, "What? AP loves Hitler? What?"
Did you say gay momentum? Why would you say that? Bernard Rufio said, "Aloha snackbar, AP and David. Where's Yafur the donkey?"
Dead, unless there's competing stories. So Yafur the donkey was supposedly Muhammad's donkey, and I think there are sources on how this thing would like talk to him and so on. And then supposedly when Muhammad died, the donkey was so upset that it committed suicide.
That sounds reasonable.
I forget how. I think it jumped down it killed itself down a well or something like. I forget. But yeah, that was Muhammad's donkey.
That's what donkeys do. That's the real life.
Yeah, it is.
That is the real world. There was a sometimes when you say Muhammad, I think of Mahamud, which is something that there was this little girl. She was on YouTube, and she was making videos. She was like this extremely highly intelligent autistic girl who went really hard right though, and was making videos. And she made this video. She looked like Ben Shapiro. She made this video about Islam, which was hilarious. I don't agree with much of the other stuff that she did, but that was hilarious. She was banned on YouTube after a while. I forgot what her name was, and I'm wondering if that video is available anywhere, because although she was kind of messed up, that video was hilarious, man. And I think you should see that. Sophie, yes. See, my wife knows. She said Sophie. Yes.
Oh, you said Sophie. When you're saying she looked like Ben Shapiro, I was thinking they already got a girl that looks exactly like Ben Shapiro. That's that other girl on the Daily Wire.
Yeah, no, not that one. Not that one. Sophie. Her name was Sophie. I wonder if she's on any other platform and if she has that video somewhere, because I would really like to see that video, and it was hilarious. I should watch this sometime. Bernard Ruffi. Oh, I already read this. already read this. DR said in Australia we are trending towards woke and liberal, and not against it. Say what you want about COVID, but at least our immigration policy was on point. Yeah.
It is weird. It's just built into my mind that Australians should be tougher since the entire population is the descendants of criminals. What?
We had this conversation already. It's not the entire population.
No, I'm just thinking the prisons I've been to. If you take the entire population, then put them someplace and they just keep having kids, I would expect those kids to be. These are the kids of just hardcore criminals. They should be tough, and they're I don't know. And then you watch Crocodile Dundee when you're a kid, and you see him, and then there's Donk, and Donk is this big tough dude, and you think, oh, Australians, he's super tough, and then you got the Foster's beer commercials, and they're all cool, and then you got Jacko. Remember Jacko, the Energizer commercials when you're a kid? So everything coming out of Australia was cool, and boomerangs. And they're kangaroos and hunting crocodiles and stuff. You think these are the toughest people in the world. And then, let's celebrate as these guys are saying yes to Jews because we don't want to hurt their feelings. What happened to you guys? Someone grab a boomerang.
Somebody grab one of them. But just for clarification, because we want to be inclusive and not be racist, anti-Australian bigots, I have to point out that the accurate description of the situation is actually that a minority of Australians are descendants of convicts that were sent to the colony. Don't believe what David Woody is telling you with his typical anti-Australian bigotry, Australophobia.
It's a big island populated entirely with criminals. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, that sounds nice. I found the video.
Assalamu alaikum, my Muslim brothers and sisters. I come to you today to atone before Allah for my misdeeds against his people. I perpetrated grievous verbal abuse against the defenseless and entirely innocent people of Islam by very sincerely threatening nuclear genocide on a serious platform that is a Discord server.
I don't know how old this girl is at this point. She's she
looks young, man.
Man.
I was given permission by the United States government to do it. Not only did I have the codes, but the launch keys were in and the missiles were seconds away from being launched.
Doesn't she look like Ben Shapiro?
A little bit.
She looks exactly like Ben Shapiro. I thought this is Ben Shapiro when I saw this.
All of a sudden, though, I received a flood of Twitter mentions telling me that the actions I described were morally wrong, a fact which I was completely oblivious to. In their sage wisdom, they proved irrefutably that my hatred was unjustified, assuring me that there is no meaningful correlation between Islam and the proliferation of rape gangs in Europe. Long story short, peer pressure succeeded in completely changing my mind, and the peacemaking spirit of John McCain inspired me to stop the nukes just in time. Since then, I've become a devout follower of the Prophet Muhammad. Suffice to say, I've been having a fuck ton of fun. Of course.
Yeah. I remember this video. I don't know how old she is. A child. She was banned from YouTube after a while for.
She looks 12 or 13 to me, but some people just look young even when they're 17 or 18 or something.
She was banned for hate speech or something like that from YouTube permanently. And that was she
not a shocker.
Skyrocketed to 1 million subscribers, and then she was banned after reaching 1 million subscribers. Yep. Thoughts on Ataturk, said Sankey. He's dead. Yeah. What are your thoughts, David?
Don't know him, don't care.
Okay, but do you agree that he's dead?
If you say so.
Okay, good. My wife says she was 14 there. Really? 14? Oh, okay. Interesting.
I was almost right on the money.
Nice. Riley's fish and flag will said it's because they are mostly brown. I agree. I don't know what this refers to, but yes, completely. And thank you, Riley. Thank you. It's probably something with Islam, my guess.
Trying to think of what we were talking about that would apply to. I forget.
But to be serious, Sankey, thoughts on Ataturk? I think Ataturk had an interesting mission and did take Turkey to toward a reasonable path of being enlightened and becoming westernized and all that. But the thing is, he was also a dictator. And he did have the intention of ending the dictatorship and finally introducing democracy and letting multiple parties vote and all that. But he did also do some really bad things, including mass killing certain populations. And also, when I was a very religious Muslim, I had some deep hate for Ataturk because of the fact that he, with his secularization and modernization policies, did some things such as putting lots of people, lots of religious people in prison, executing people for religious ideas and things like that. And I think the way he handled those things are not very productive. I would say the fact that Turkey now has an Islamist government is a result of the way he handled the modernization and secularization of Turkey. You can't just do it that way. You can't, by force, suppress the religious population and ban everything that they believe in, and expect them to just be okay, and everything to just go by peacefully, because that will cause frustrations, generational frustrations, which in the end will lead to an insurgence of religious political ideas, and that's what happened. Anyway, yeah, he's dead. Cliff Wilson said, AP, I sent a link to she was 9 years old video to you on X. Thank you. I found gladly. Thank you so much. Mr. Trainee said, Aisha herself said how strange it is that every time Muhammad had an issue with something, Allah came to fix it and say whatever he wanted was fine. Well, so what's wrong with that? Allah is a good guy. He cares about Muhammad.
That's what I'd do if I was a false prophet.
Yeah. See, that's what I would do if I was Allah. Edsky70 said, Satan runs free of this world. Yeah. I can confirm. Namishu said, AP curious, do you know the YouTuber Grade A Under A? Nope, never heard of it. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. And never will hear. 3.7
you never heard of it,
subscribers.
If you never heard of it, get a pen pal.
I've never heard of this channel that has almost 4 million subscribers. Interesting. Nope.
Hey, you know what we should do for some show coming up? Apparently now there are these reuniting videos of the released hostages. Just looking it up. Father like didn't know his daughter was alive, thought she was dead, and then she gets released.
Yeah.
9-year-old. So it's his daughter, but old enough to be a grandmother, according to Daniel Hikichu.
It's beautiful. Chloe said Mirage single player has a good story. Just kidding about Jin trying to molest him. I got that part, yeah. Yeah. What was that? Mary was here earlier. Too many Marys. She was here earlier, and she said it's not a multiplayer game, LOL. I'm aware of that.
Oh, wait, we can't even play it as multiplayer?
No, you can't.
Oh, pick a game that doesn't suck.
No. Games that are multiplayer suck. Alan De Vere said, what's your option on what happened? I guess your opinion on what happened in Dublin, Ireland. We didn't even talk about that. It's funny. Actually, it was on the plan. So in Ireland, what's happened is that a person of Algerian origin did stabbing, and then there were riots for 2 days straight. Did you look further into that, David?
Just based on what you said, saw a couple sites saying, I haven't seen it confirmed from the authorities themselves that he was Algerian, but I'll look it up right now.
He was Algerian. He stabbed children in a mass stabbing. He stabbed children. 3 young children were among 5 people injured in a knife attack in Dublin on Thursday. Riots broke out, and there were lots of protests. Riots broke out in the streets. Things were set on fire because people were saying, "Enough of this! Kick them all out of here," and all that. And apparently, the riots calmed down, and several Irish authorities said that this is a shameful far-right hooligan.
So Newsweek said Irish police are questioning an Algerian man suspected of stabbing a woman and 3 children outside a school in an attack that sparked a night of furious riots, looting, and anti-immigrant protests in Dublin. Naturalized Irish citizen who has lived here for 20 years.
What's also interesting is that Dublin was one of the so Ireland is one of the countries that are currently very pro-Palestine in the current thing that is happening. Very pro-Palestine. This is funny. Riots erupt in Dublin after children stabbing blamed on migrants. So it was actually an Algerian person who did the stabbing.
Yeah, and interestingly, the guy who stopped him was that Brazilian. He's a Deliveroo driver, and it was a Brazilian dude who jumped out and kicked the crap out of that dude. But he's treated like a hero. So notice it's not just can't stand immigrants or something like that. People love him.
That's nice.
People love that dude who jumped out his car and kicked the crap out of this dude.
That's nice.
Which, for the record, is exactly what I would have done.
That's what you say, but yeah. One of the victims is also from a migrant family, they say. Wonder what background though. Yeah, so that's what happened. But apparently the situation has very much calmed down as it stands right now. Something burning, and authorities said that this is a shameful series of events and that it is much to blame on far-right movements and hooligans who decided to cause division and riot and all that, which is a very interesting thing to say after children are mass stabbed.
Yes, look at these far-right people who actually oppose Algerian immigrants stabbing kids on the street.
Yeah.
Be more tolerant, people. Be more tolerant.
And look at this guy. It says Muhammad was a Satanist. What is wrong with you?
Racists everywhere.
Marisa Kennedy said it's a good thing Muhammad didn't like wearing his pants on backwards like crisscross, or all Muslims would be wearing their pants backwards to this day.
Yeah. You don't even know who Chris Cross is, man. What are you laughing at?
I know Chris Crosses.
Who? What did they sing?
It was a guy from way back. I don't even remember.
No, it was 2 guys, man.
Oh, there was 2.
They were both named Chris.
Yeah.
Chris Cross will make you jump.
Okay, yeah.
Mac Daddy make you jump.
That's the only thing I remember about.
Yeah, that's Chris Cross.
Okay.
Yeah, so they wore their clothes backwards and stuff. But yeah, it's absolutely correct. I pointed out differently. I've said, like, imagine that Muhammad was the final prophet, but he came to Japan. Now Muslims around the world would be wearing kimonos and speaking and learning Japanese so they could memorize the revelation in Japanese.
That's funny.
Oh, it's very funny.
It is hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
It is fantastically funny. Marisa Kennedy said it's a good thing. Okay, yeah, I already read this, man. Giovanna Garcia said Gabriel popped up in that cave and yelled at Muhammad, "Be my pen pal.
Be my pen pal.
Be my pen pal," and startled the prophet. So we ran out of the cave crying. That's exactly what happened. It says so in the Quran. It says he came and he said, "How about find a pen pal?" And then Muhammad said,
"How about no?"
Nameshu said UAP.
Already read it.
He was known for making rant videos back in the day. Nope. Chloe said, "Ain't wrong. I'm Aussie." Can you do an Australian accent, David? I can't do that.
Ain't wrong. I'm Aussie. One ancestor was prisoner on a ship. The ship was called The kangaroo, eh? His wife was an English woman seeking opportunity. Other ancestors were Irish, leaving the potato famines of 1840s, Welsh, Scots, and more English. And now we're all down here drinking Foster's, Australian for beer.
That's the
But notice she admits that they're all prisoners.
That's the worst Australian accent I've heard in my entire life.
Prisoners on a ship.
It says here, according to research, 20% of modern Australians are descendants of convicts that were shipped to the colony. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about this. If it is 100%, do you actually want to report that? No, you want to minimize it.
His wife was an English woman seeking opportunity. Other ancestors were Irish, leaving the potato famines. It's interesting stuff. Good stuff.
And now we sit around hugging koalas.
The Real Masker said AP, Austrian painter. Hey, that's good. I didn't think of that. Just kidding. Anyways, get a pen pill. Yeah.
How about no?
How about no?
Austrian painter. Hey, that's good. I didn't think of that.
Seeing the Austrian right after we talk about Australia just reminded me of Dumb and Dumber. Remember that?
Yeah.
Huh? And he says, "Well, that's a beautiful accent. Where's it from? Austria." Well, good day, mate.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Put another shrimp on the barbie. It was funny. And then there was an entire movie called Young Einstein where he was Australian. So you wonder if it's just a joke or were the actual writers so dumb that they didn't know the difference between Austria and Australia? I don't know.
Makes you wonder, right? Maybe that was the problem. Garbled Words said, "Hey, Hasbarot, did you hear?" Oh, thank you for the recognition. Did you hear Gadsad's conversation with Cynthia Farahat? She's fantastic, exposing just how powerful the Muslim Brotherhood is.
No, I'm looking that up now.
Never heard of
Gad
Cynthia
said, I do recall Gadsad's interview with me way back in the day.
Oh, I remember Gadsad being interviewed by me back in the day.
My chat with Cynthia Farahat on the dangers of the Muslim Brotherhood.
Okay, somebody talked to me about this, so I opened it up already, and I'm around here because I clicked through it, but then I just closed it, which does not mean I'm completely disinterested. It probably means I didn't have the time to look at it.
Or you were like, who is this woman? She's got half the brain of a man.
Let's see.
Which is, burying your head in the sand so that, la la la, I don't want to hear it. So maybe I can kind of mention some of these with you and see if they just.
I get this all the time. Yes, people tell me the same thing, but my neighbor is so sweet. But yes, but that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about an organized criminal enterprise.
Does she have like a half Iranian accent or something? It's very
half Turkish. It's half Turkish. That's why it's destroying my ears.
Never heard of her before, so can't say anything. I haven't seen it.
How is Gadsad not getting more views on this stuff? It says I looked at it. He's got 12,000 from yesterday on this video, but he's such a good interviewer, smart. He's funny.
That's very sad.
Should have like 80 to 100,000 in my view.
It's sad that people don't watch stuff like that.
It's the sad truth.
Yeah, it's sadness. It's very saddening. My wife said you guys are so sexist.
One of us is.
Yeah, and everyone knows. Everyone can point at him immediately. Chloe, History, Food and Games, another woman, said Isonzo is a said Isonzo is a good multiplayer like Call of Duty for World War I, Italian campaign versus Austro-Hung German Empire. Really? That's interesting. I need to look that up. Okay, I need to look that up. That sounds interesting. I might check it out. This is going to turn into a gaming channel very soon, it looks like.
We should just go old school from like 10 years ago and just play Call of Duty Black Ops Zombie mode. That was cool because they were Nazi zombies, right? It's zombies that you should kill and Nazis, and therefore it's like the most hideous form of zombies.
Yeah, it's true. Cedric said Ataturk was a dictator, and I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, that's a reference to the Jordan Peterson. Video where it says
Muhammad was a warlord, and I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about that, eh?
Muhammad
I can't
was
just
a
sit around.
warlord.
I can't just sit around at Tim Hortons drinking barrels of maple syrup, eh?
He barely ever says "a." Why do you always add that to him? Always have to make fun of those poor Canadians. Like, this is why they are scared to come to America and live among you. See?
No, the entire population of Canada was populated by French people running away from American freedoms. But
there you go, another one. Awesome. Gray said, do you think it's easier to convert the bad kind of Muslim to the better kind of Muslim, to a Christian or to an atheist? What? Do you think it's easier to convert the bad kind of Muslim?
if you have a dangerous jihadi, if you have a jihadi, or not necessarily jihadi, but someone who's in that ballpark of ideologically, is it easier to convert him to being a nice Muslim, or to a Christian, or to an atheist?
This is funny because I completely understood this the other way. Because when I read bad kind of Muslim, I understand a Muslim.
Oh,
who's not a
like
very good
someone
Muslim
who's
who's
not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you say?
Yeah, you can read it that way. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, all three happen. All three of these things happen, but seems more common for them to leave Islam and become a Christian or an atheist.
Yeah, I think it really depends on people. There's no way to ever group them and say for this kind of people it's easier to do that, because it's like,
yeah, it's gonna depend on the person. So it's easier if they leave Islam and then they have a choice to make depending on their IQ. If they have a high IQ, they go to Christianity. If low IQ, they go to atheism. So it's going to depend on the person.
Yeah, atheists, they're stupid. Vitor Emanuel Oliveira said AP play Europa Universalis Catholic Ottomans and become the emperor of the whole of the Roman Empire.
Our whole live streams are going to become discussions of video games.
Hey, you think I didn't do this already? Vitor Emanuel Oliveira play Europe Catholic Ottomans become the emperor of the whole Roman Empire. I already did this. I already became Ottoman Orthodox Christian and became all kinds of things. I have experimented with that game forever, for years, because it's amazing, and I'm a nerd. Yeah.
We're learning that.
Stephen Robertson said, what do you think about this? Judas was the disciple whom Jesus loved, wrote the Gospel of John, and is the greatest unsung hero in the New Testament.
Nope. Sounds dumb. Doesn't fit the text at all.
If David said it, it's true. Itski70 said, AP, if you could time travel to Muhammad's time, would you kill him? Probably, yeah. I would lie if I said I did not
fantasize about that all day, every day.
I'm fantasizing about that, the different methods of doing that, and all the different things you could do to.
Again, we should do a time travel video where you actually rent the. We talked about this before, but we could do it where you and me get in the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and we go back in time, and then we have this moral discussion on ethics and meta ethics about whether we should kill Muhammad. And then one of us inevitably does, and then we go back to the future and see what the world is like.
Hey, that's actually something that I had on my mind that I even wrote down. By the way, very interesting, very interesting. It's like the baby Hitler question. Yes, it is. It is. Except,
or we can just like make Islam better. Like he's like, oh, I'm gonna mess with it. Oh, I'm gonna bone this little girl, and I just slap the crap out of him. No, you don't. You don't do that. Oh, okay, it won't be part of my religion anymore. And we just like keep correcting him until he has something awesome.
Make Islam great again. Make Islam right again. Air Church said, Apostate Prophet, did you have turkey for Thanksgiving? I did indeed. I did indeed. Would it be Thanksgiving without turkey? I did indeed. I did indeed. Yes. Erdogan, Hitler of Turkey. I wouldn't go that far. I have to be very fair. He does have relationships with goats, but I wouldn't say that he's Hitler or anything like that. Riker said, "Play Minecraft." I actually tried, and I found it too boring.
My kids a few years ago, we wanted to do a Prophet Muhammad gaming channel with Vocab was just going to be pretending to be playing, but my kids were actually going to play the games and record it, and then Vocab was going to pretend to do it. But yeah, one of them was going to be Minecraft, and they were going to build it up, and I don't know. They said they could have dogs and pigs in there, and then Muhammad was going to go around killing the dogs and pigs, and then they were going to overwhelm him or something like this. But then he was gonna. They said they could rig the entire place with dynamite, and he was going to blow it up at the end. Anyway.
Yeah. That sounds very good, man.
But wouldn't you click on a Prophet Muhammad gaming channel where it's Prophet Muhammad playing these games and freaking out over Jews and stuff?
I would. I absolutely would. Bob Johnson said AP eating turkey would be cannibalism. Indeed. Yeah, indeed. Ali Hashim said AP is a Hitler supporter and you as Americans are okay with that. Probably looks like it. I think that guy is actually somebody who doesn't like us and doesn't understand the joke here. Please answer professionally. How about no? All right. Final super chats here. Edsky70 said, you already read that. What's wrong with you? Contemporary Compendium said, y'all go on with Viva Frey and Robert Barnes.
Those are those guys over on Rumble.
Rumble.
Lawyers, both of them.
Rumble. Chloe said, if Winston didn't do a poop in World War I, we would have Constantinople in Christian hands and no Middle East issues. Yes, that's how it worked. Yes, that's exactly how it went. Yeah. That's precisely how it went. That's how it always went. Yeah. Ali Hashim said AP answered the question. Nope. Vilma said poor little confused kid.
You're my dimmy.
I don't answer questions. AP Minecraft boring.
AP don't ask the questions. The questions ask him. What?
Join Destiny 2 is multiplayer. I heard of it, but I've never ever looked into it. Dark Tower, real Red Dead. Red Dead, I tried.
Does Destiny the game have any connection to Destiny the streamer?
I think, to be honest, that when he started his streaming channel, he named himself after the game, or he included that for a different reason.
That's
and
pretty.
Then,
that's
and
pretty
then it
easy
stuck.
trick.
Yeah,
it's just gonna call him. I'm gonna start my gaming channel and call myself Legend of Zelda. No, it's me, Mario. Call myself Mario.
Let's see, where did that come from? Video games online. He started back in 2013. What was it named after? 2013. He was playing StarCraft 2. I don't know if that has anything to do with it at all, but yeah, something. His actual name is Steven. Are you French? Yes, I am. I am French. Yeah, okay, all right, thanks. Anything else you want to add before we ride off into the night?
No, I think the plan for tomorrow, we're going to get God Logic on with us. But Bobby, are you familiar with Bobby?
Barbie? Yes, I'm familiar with Barbie.
Bobby's Perspective.
Oh, Bobby.
Do you know who that guy is?
Yeah, oh yeah, that bearded guy who makes his videos who was like, Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, he made a video. Titled "David Wood has no clue about Islam," and he's directing it to God Logic. It's based on the recent debates we just had, and saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, we're actually going to go through that tomorrow and see whether he's right. Because if I don't know what I'm talking about, it'd be good to know, and we'll see what he has to say.
Nice. Etsky70 said, "I travel with you both in my machine." Okay,
DeLoreans are 2-seaters, man. 2-seaters.
Interesting. God Logic, said Shannon B.
Yes, God Logic.
Yes. Black Angel says, "How dare he?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I agree completely with
We
that.
will expose him. We will start it. We need to act like that the entire time. You've been humiliated, you little weakling. Just act like that.
Look at me. Look at me.
As these guys.
Twitter says, "Show us your leather strap before you leave, AP." Yeah. See? There you have it. All right. I'm going to ask questions. I want them answered immediately. Yeah. Collaborate with Adam Seeker. Yes. Heard of that. Destiny is morally bankrupt. No stance of his is worth having. Really, no stance of his is worth having. Really, no stance.
Really,
I can't.
He's
think
never
of a
said
single
one
person.
thing correct.
I can't think of a single person that I know of who has no stance at all that is worth having. Even Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawa probably has a stance that is worth having.
Yeah, like Ali Dawa believes that AP needs to be executed.
Yeah, like isn't that beautiful? All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Somebody said Destiny was a stripper before he became a streamer.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, I was a stripper too.
We were all strippers back in the day.
Yeah. I remember taking my clothes off first when I started learning to put my own clothes on. Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. David, anything else you want to say?
Nope. See everyone tomorrow.
You're sick. You're sick. You're finished already. Look at me. Look at me. You know you're done. You're sitting there watching Netflix. Get the hell out of here. Lose faith. I tell you, lose faith. It's better for you. Homosexuality should be fine.
Anyway, thanks for watching. God bless you both. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a fantastic day. We will be back soon tomorrow on David's channel, and throughout the week we will go live and review that movie Submission by Ayaan Hirsi Ali and Theo van Gogh. Until then, stay well, stay fresh, and as always,
stay away from Islam.
I can't end my stream. It says you are logged out and you can't end the stream. This is so stupid.
That's cool. We're gonna go on forever and ever.
Anyway, stay away from Islam.
We're trapped.